Chapter 214, Jade King Mountain Range. Shocking. Everyone in the restaurant was dumbfounded and looked at the development with disbelief. They looked blankly at the leader of Gordonway, bowing down to the young man and thanking him respectfully. His bow was deep and he did not have the demeanor of an inborn expert at all. He also didn't act in a way that the leader of the top-tier family in Jade Nation would be expected to. He was just like an ordinary citizen thanking his benefactor for lending a helping hand. "It seems that the matter you are concerned about has been settled," said Wang Xian heartily. "Thank you, Miracle Dr. Wang, for your assistance. I have settled them." The leader of Gordonway showed a faint smile and sat opposite to Wang Xian. "Miracle Dr. Wang, if there's anything you require my assistance for in Jade Nation, feel free to let me know." "Sure, I wouldn't stand on ceremony," Wang Xian replied with a laugh. "Will Miracle Dr. Wang be interested in hanging around Jade Nation for a few days? I'll let my guys bring you around Jade Nation." The leader of Gordonway extended his hospitality. "I'm good. I'm here in Jade Nation to settle some other stuff. I'll be leaving after having my meal." Wang Xian shook his head and rejected. If he stayed in this place for a longer time, Lan Qingyu would probably kill him with her stare. "All right then, Miracle Dr. Wang. I'll get you a chauffeur later to bring you around in Jade Nation. If you ever visit the Jade Nation in the future, let me know in advance. I'll definitely be a good host." The leader of Gordonway smiled and stood up. "Miracle Dr. Wang, the medical techniques of China indeed have incredible effects and you are really a worthy young hero. Enjoy your meal. I'll be leaving now." Wang Xian heard his last sentence. He smiled and bade goodbye to the leader of Gordonway. Wow. When the leader of Gordonway left, everyone was shocked. They had been watching the entire development attentively. The feeling they got was that the leader of Gordonway had put himself down a little too much. The tone he was using when talking to that juvenile was completely deferential. Even when Miracle Dr. She had found a way to treat the illness of the leader of Gordonway yesterday, he wasn't treated as such. However, that juvenile's response was even more shocking. He seemed to take everything as a given, acting nonchalantly. One should know that this was a top-class family with several inborn experts in the clan, and it even had a strong army. They could be considered as elite even when compared with the rest of Jade Nation. From what the leader of Gordonway said, his illness was caused by Miracle Dr. Shi and his clan members. The plot seems to have been seen through by Miracle Dr. Wang. Miracle Dr. Wang from China is really incredible to be able to see through the conspiracy. Moreover, he seems to have cured the illness of the leader of Gordonway. There is a saying in China that goes along with the idea that heroes are often young. Miracle Dr. Wang has such astonishing medical skills at such a young age. His future will definitely be extraordinary. Miracle Dr. Yinyang was really arrogant. He was still mocking miracle doctors from China yesterday. Now that his plan has been exposed, his most likely finish. No wonder Miracle Dr. Yinyang has ways to treat the leader of Gordonway. It was all his doing in the first place. The surrounding group of miracle doctors sighed emotionally. The remaining followers and disciples of these miracle doctors looked across in awe. No one had expected such a young juvenile to be in possession of such astonishing medical skills. As for those who were still crowding around Miracle Dr. Shi a while ago, they immediately walked out with blushing faces. "Ha, Miracle Dr. Wang has truly made Chinese miracle doctors proud. This is really beyond my imagination." Miracle Dr. Guang Hua brought his disciples along and laughed heartily to Wang Xian. "I guess I'm just lucky too," replied Wang Xian with a laugh. "Miracle Dr. Wang's medical skills are truly exceptional and much better than ours." Another miracle doctor walked over and said respectfully to Wang Xian. When one reached a certain level of proficiency, he could be the tutor of others. They had not looked down on Wang Xian just because of his young age. Through this incident, Wang Xian had also become famous. Poison Doc walked over and asked inquisitively, "Miracle Dr. Wang, can you share with us how you diagnosed the illness of the leader of Gordonway?" The truth was that the leader of Gordonway wasn't sick at all, but someone poisoned the pangolin beside him. Poison Doc's poisonous snake had probably discovered this. However, it was probably fearful, and the pangolin didn't dare to go over. Wang Xian said heartily. Oh, so that's how it is. Poison Doc nodded his head slightly. No wonder so many miracle doctors couldn't find the source of illness. The problem wasn't with the leader of Gordonway after all. Miracle Dr. Wang, you are really incredible. I'm truly convinced this time. Wang Xian exchanged pleasantries and smiled with them. Dr. Sun, who was standing by the side, looked at Wang Xian with even more admiration. As for the white-shirt young man, his eyes popped wide open and he was clearly shaken. Miracle Dr. Wang, are you heading back to China in a while? Asked Guanghua. Nope, I still have something to attend to and will be leaving later. Wang Xian shook his head. We will also be hanging around here. Since we are here, we have plans to play for a few more days. After finishing their breakfast, Wang Xian bade goodbye to Guanghua and his disciples. He boarded the car assigned to him by the leader of Gordonway and headed towards where Lan Qingyu was. The end of the Jade King mountain range was the liveliest region in the entire Jade Nation. To ensure the local customs would continue, the local government dug a lot of caves around the area to attract customers. And for the next few days, it would also be the busiest few days of the year. The annual stone betting festival would be held over the next few days. During this period, stone bettors, jade stones lovers and jade stones businesses would be here to bet and purchase. Wang Xian saw a huge crowd gathered in the area they just went past. Miracle Dr. Wang, I'll be waiting here. If you have any instructions for me, you can give me a call, the driver said deferentially to Wang Xian. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head. He alighted from the car and looked ahead of him. This was a magnificent entrance. The center of the Jade King mountain range had been dug through and both sides along the path had various stone caves. Within the stone caves and at the entrance, there were various stones on display. Some stones had a faint green shade while others had a tinge of red. These were none other than stones for stone betting. Wang Xian called Lan Qingyu and walked in. Passing through the entrance, there were more exquisite caves. At the entrances of these caves, there were jade stones that had been cut open with clear prices. Wang Xian saw Lan Qingyu standing with her uncle at the entrance of a rather luxurious-looking shop. Lan Qingyu had a bitter look on her and stood solemnly there. Wang Xian was confused and frowned. He walked over and shouted, "Qingyu, Xiao Xian." Seeing him walking towards her, Lan Qingyu forced out a smile. Wang Xian could tell Lan Qingyu was unhappy and asked caringly, "What happened?" "Nothing. It's just some matters relating to purchasing jade stones. A supplier we have been working with for a long time suddenly decided to stop working with us." Lan Qingyu frowned slightly. They said someone is preventing them from working with deep-sea jewelry. TSK. The ones behind this must have been the Ju Jewelry and Lingyu sect. Endnote. This chapter refers to the doctor as Qi Shan. In 212, it is Qi Shi. Chapter 215, Stone Betting. Qingyu, how many jade stones do you intend to procure? Asked Wang Xian to Qingyu, who was looking sulky. I need about 600 kilograms of low-class jade stones, 100 kilograms of middle-class ones, 50 to 60 top-class ones, and more than 1,000 grams of supreme-class ones, Lan Qingyu answered. As the top-notch jewelry company in China, the deep-sea jewelry had to spend more than billions annually in procurement just to support the sales of the entire group. They worked with an established company in Jade Nation in previous years through installment payments. However, that group had refused to work with them this year. With this, deep-sea jewelry would be in trouble. Without sufficient jade stones to produce jade jewelry, there would be a severe shortage in this category. This would be a huge blow to a top jewelry group. Can't you change to another supplier? Asked Wang Xian doubtfully. No. Lan Qingyu shook her head and said with a depressed look. We don't have enough capital. We only have more than 500 million liquidity in the group. Most of them were reserved for managing other risks. Currently, we can only afford to take out 100 or 200 million. Besides, the process will be too long to find a new working partner. By that time, the stone betting festival of Jade Nation will be over. Qingyu, why don't we take a bank loan just to tide us over through this crisis first? At this time, Lan Quanfeng suggested this to Lan Qingyu. Lan Qingyu nodded her head. I guess this is the only way out. We cannot have a shortage of jade stones as they are important. Otherwise, we'll suffer a significant impact from it. Qingyu, don't you have some masters in deep-sea jewelry who are proficient in stone betting? I believe if you purchase some jade stones through betting, it would be much cheaper than a direct procurement. Wang Xian asked as he looked at Lan Qingyu with questions. Stone betting is like life betting. One can become a millionaire or bankrupt with a single bet. But, a top-notch stone betting master could still guarantee a profitable business. Miracle Dr. Wang, we had a stone betting team in deep-sea jewelry in the past. But the entire team has been poached. Lan Quanfeng shook his head as he said with a heartache. It's unrealistic to rely on stone betting. Even if we have a team, we're just saving a little money. Lan Qingyu was not concerned about the stone betting team that had been poached. Let me do it. I'll act as the stone betting master for today. Wang Xian straightened his clothes and said to Lan Qingyu as though he was some master. Enough, Xiao Xian. You don't have to worry about this. I'll get the group to send me all their funding. Lan Qingyu chuckled at his funny look. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows. Since you're free now, you can join me in stone betting. Let's go. Xiao Xian, are you serious? If you want to bet, go ahead. I'll give you some suggestions on the side. Lan Qingyu smiled and said. Since they had insufficient capital as of now, they could only put a stall on the procurement. Stone betting is not easy. I learned from a few masters for a long time in the past. But, I lost most of the time, Lan Quanfeng said to Wang Xian. I'm good at stone betting. Wang Xian laughed as he spoke. He looked at Lan Qingyu. I didn't reveal my other identity. I'm actually a stone betting master. Lan Qingyu rolled her eyes at him with apparent disbelief. She knew better than anyone else about jade stones and stone betting. It was not only about experience, but it was also about luck. Wang Xian smiled with confidence. With a pair of piercing eyes, stone betting was totally chicken feet. This place is known as Stone Betting Street. The entire street is 3 kilometers long, and more than 10,000 stones can be found here. Someone used more than 1 million and won 200 million worth of jade stones before over here. Lan Qingyu introduced this place to Wang Xian. Wang Xian nodded as he observed the place that he'd passed by just now. There was a variety of stalls, displaying stones and their prices. Wang Xian walked to a stall. The stall owner was a middle-aged man. When they walked over, his eyes brightened up. Take a look. Just now, someone won $1 million worth of jade stones with $100,000. My stall has the best feng shui in the entire stone betting street. The middle-aged man raised his voice as he introduced his stall to them. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes as he swept his gaze across the few hundred pieces of stones at the stall. Wang Xian was speechless when he saw all the common stones in that stall. There were no jade stones at all, and he claimed he had an excellent feng shui. During the stone betting festival, the Jade Nation will bustle with the highest number of tourists. Some people might make use of this opportunity to gain advantages. If you are not skillful, it would be hard to win a jade stone during these few days. Lan Qingyu reminded Wang Xian when she saw him staring at the stones seriously. Got it. The stone betting master never fails. Wang Xian turned around and smiled. He came to the second store, pointed at a stone, and asked, Boss, how much are you selling this for? There's a price tag on it. The stall owner looked at Wang Xian and smiled. The entire stone betting street is clearly price. Lan Qingyu, next to him, nodded too. Great. I'll get this. Wang Xian went over and picked up the stone. The stone was about the size of 2 fists with green dots on the outside. This type of stones was not exactly good. It was not cheap for a price of $80,000 either. Sure, do you want to cut the stone here? We can do it for free, asked the stall owner with a smile. Can I do it myself? Wang Xian asked. Certainly. He nodded. Oh, look who I saw. Someone from deep-sea jewelry. Why? Do you intend to rely on stone betting to support the sales of the deep-sea jewelry? Haha. At this time, a chuckle of sarcasm was heard. Lan Qingyu and Lan Quanfeng were stunned for a moment. When they turned around and saw the group of people, Their faces sank immediately. There were more than 20 people with one lady and 4 middle-aged men in the center. Several old men and young men were following behind them. The one who spoke was a lady. She fixed her eyes on Wang Xian and the rest who were gambling with a taunting look. Hihi, the Jew. What a huge lineup. Lan Qingyu stared at the lady and the rest of the people with a darkened expression. The girl from Lan family, you've got quite an ability. You were going to marry into the Liu family a few days ago. But now, you are sticking to Miracle Dr. Wang. How nice it is to be a youngster. The middle-aged lady mocked Lan Qingyu. She then turned to look at Wang Xian. I bet you're Miracle Dr. Wang. What a young and promising man. Ha! Upon hearing what the middle-aged lady said, Lan Qingyu had a nasty look. You're already old, so don't be jealous. Hihi, even if I was not old, I would not be a loose person. A hint of coldness flashed in the middle-aged lady's eyes as she followed up with a sarcastic remark. Chapter 216, Stone Betting Master? Her remarks made Lan Qingyu uncomfortable as Lan Qingyu stared harshly at the middle-aged woman. Old hag, don't disturb us here. Wang Xian gave a cold reply after hearing what the middle-aged woman said. What did you call me? Old hag. The middle-aged woman shrieked upon hearing Wang Xian and stared furiously at him. I'm talking about you. Do you need me to emphasize it again? Wang Xian remarked emotionlessly at the middle-aged woman. Miracle Dr. Wang, don't think you can be arrogant just because your ranking on the Miracle Doctor's chart is high. We are not the Liu family. You are just a factionless doctor. You should take a look at your standing. A middle-aged man beside the middle-aged woman reminded Wang Xian in a harsh tone. Oh, is it so? Wang Xian looked at the middle-aged man mockingly. TSK. It's easy to die young when you are so arrogant. The middle-aged man showed no signs of weakness and retorted, a factionless doctor isn't safe anywhere. It's easy to die away from home. Hehe, I'd like to give it a try. Killing intent flashed in Wang Xian's eyes. The middle-aged man laughed nonchalantly. His Lingyu sect was a first-class force similar to the Liu family. Although this juvenile had annihilated the Liu family, Lingyu sect wasn't fearful of him at all. In fact, he didn't even see Wang Xian as equal. Although miracle doctors were strong and could summon experts who owed them favors, a factionless doctor had a huge weakness. That was that they did not have any real supporting force or incredible individual strength. The Sacred Followers Guild did not exist in the past. The establishment of the Sacred Followers Guild was a gathering of various miracle doctors. The purpose was to ensure the safety of various miracle doctors. This was because many miracle doctors were often threatened and slain in the past. The 9th-ranked miracle doctor was also killed by Maniac G. And yet Maniac G was still alive and kicking. The reason was because the 9th-ranked miracle doctor wasn't from the Sacred Followers Guild or the Medical Saint sect. If he had a strong supporting force behind him, Maniac G would definitely not act rashly. This was because if he did, it would be equivalent to a slap to the supporting force behind him and a declaration of war against it. The strong supporting force would definitely hunt Maniac G down. However, those who owed the 9th-ranked miracle doctor favors were fearful of Maniac G's strength and didn't seek revenge for him. Other than that, experts wouldn't be at the beck and call of the miracle doctors they owed favors to forever. Once they had repaid the favor, they naturally wouldn't help in the future. These were the weaknesses of a factionless doctor and also the reason why Lingyu sect wasn't afraid of Wang Xian. If Wang Xian dared to summon 2 inborn experts to Lingyu sect could also invite other sects or friends to face them. The Liu family just happened to be caught by surprise. If the Liu family had made preparations, they wouldn't have been annihilated. At this moment, a Jade Nation local beside the middle-aged man suddenly added, "This is our territory. If Brother Jew has any need, just leave it to us. Haha, I don't have to trouble brother with this. These are some small matters and Lingyu sect can still settle them." The middle-aged man from Lingyu sect laughed heartily. "Hey brat, I'll offer you a piece of kind advice to the deep-sea jewelry. It's better if you guys act honestly in the future. You guys aren't a match for Jew jewelry. Retreat to the 2nd tier silently or your losses will be grave," the middle-aged woman said to Lan Qingyu with a smile. You guys sure are confident. Wang Xian looked at them with contempt and ridicule. Not only will deep-sea jewelry not retreat to the second tier, but it will also grow stronger and stronger. Wang Xian walked to the stone-cutting machine and signaled to the master stonecutter. The master stonecutter moved away and made a hand gesture to ask Wang Xian to continue. Wang Xian lifted the stone-cutting equipment and placed the stone on it. With a confident grin, he cut it down decisively. The owner of the stall was shocked to see the crowd. When he saw Wang Xian cutting the stone, he immediately looked over. Hey! It's green, it's green. It's a gain, a huge gain. Note, a gain in stone betting would mean that the value of the gemstone hidden within the stone is higher than the price paid for the stone. The owner of the stall exclaimed loudly in disbelief after seeing the stone. It's really a gain. Lan Qingyu and Lan Quanfeng looked over. Their bitter expressions quickly turned to radiant smiles. Wang Xian smiled. Everything was as he had expected. How could he not get a gain with his piercing eyes? If he had failed, he must be blind. Using his piercing eye to scan the stone, Wang Xian could look past the impurities of the stone. He could already see approximately 1,000 grams of top-class jade stone in it. What a killing! Top-class jade. This piece is worth at least $7 to $8 million. That's 100 times profit. The stone betting owner exclaimed loudly. The owner's voice drew the attention of the nearby crowd as they came over inquisitively. Wow, what a huge piece without any impurities. That's at least $7 to $8 million. Hey brother, will you sell it for $8 million? A man shouted loudly from the crowd. Wang Xian shook his head and threw the stone to Mo Qinglong. Huh! You guys sure are lucky to get a gain. The middle-aged woman from the Ju jewelry looked at that piece of jadestone in shock and remarked coldly. My luck has always been great. Wang Xian replied the middle-aged lady. After which, he turned to Lan Qingyu and asked, how is it? As I've said, I'm a master of stone betting. Even you dare to call yourself a master of stone betting? Aren't you afraid of others cutting your tongue off? An old man behind the middle-aged woman spoke with disdain. He looked to the middle-aged woman and said, Madam Ju, leave the stone betting to us. All right, old phone, I'll leave this to the various masters. The middle-aged lady smiled and nodded her head. Let them know that stone betting isn't just about luck, and who's a real master. Hehe, just leave it to us. He's just a brat and his luck alone can't be compared with us. 5 to 6 old men walked to the stall ahead. They took out professional tools and started examining each stone. Seeing their proficiency, the owner was shocked and knew that these old men were experts. Hee. Wang Xian glanced at the group of old men acting professionally. He signaled to the boss and pointed his fingers directly. Boss, give me that stone right there, and this. All right, brother. The owner nodded his head and picked up 2 stones. One was 5 to 6,000 grams while the other was just the size of a fist. Wang Xian gave the boss $150,000. After which, he brought the stones to the stone-cutting equipment. As he swung the blade down, glorious red light was reflected off the stone. Bloodstone. Supreme class bloodstone. Oh my god. It's another gain. This is a huge gain. Supreme class bloodstone. Just a small spot like this is worth at least $3 million. Oh my. Is this luck? How can one be so lucky? 2 consecutive huge gains. His luck is simply exceptional. Exclamations broke out moments after Wang Xian cut the stone. His lips curved into a smile as he looked towards the group of dumbfounded old men. Master of stone betting? If you guys are masters of stone betting, I'll be the god of stone betting. Chapter 217, God of Stone Betting. Sigh, Lady Luck is smiling on me. Wang Xian sighed softly as he taunted. In just a few cuts, he cut out a piece of supreme class bloodstone from it completely. It was worth at least $5 million. Lan Qingyu and Lan Quanfeng stared dumbfoundedly at the jade stone in Wang Xian's hand with their mouths agape. His luck is way too good, isn't it? Madame Ju and the rest of the people stared at Wang Xian, stunned as their expressions gradually turned nasty. It's too early to be happy. Madame Ju scorned at Wang Xian coldly. Let's continue. Wang Xian tossed the jade stone in his hand to Mo Qinglong before he picked up the stone that was the size of a head. This is the third one. He is not going to have a huge gain, is he? How can he have such good luck? Even a master cannot guarantee he could double or triple the investment for all the stones in 3 consecutive rounds. He has the luck of the Irish if the same thing happens again. The surrounding onlookers stared at Wang Xian as they discussed in whispers. Madame Zhu and the rest of them fixed their eyes on him as well. Wang Xian felt funny when he saw the crowd. Without much consideration, he wielded his knife. Oops! Wang Xian exclaimed with a smile when he shook his head as soon as he saw the grey stone in it. The first knife fails. This is normal. How can one have such good luck? The people around them commented. Ha! He thought that Lady Luck is always by his side. What an idiot. Just when Madame Zhu was gloating over his misfortune, Wang Xian brought the knife down again. How is this possible? Madame Zhu swallowed her words abruptly as she shrieked. A hint of immense green was seen. Gosh, he got it again. Fuck, it's a huge gain. All 3 stones were huge gains. This is fucking awesome. Gosh, boss. Did you have all the best stones? The green one was not too bad. Despite the value not being any higher than those 2 earlier on, it still could fetch millions of dollars. My luck is really good. Wang Xian shook his head slowly as he cut the stone open. Xiao Xian, you're simply impressive. Lan Qingyu ran over exhilaratingly as she gazed at him with admiration. Haha, I was wrong. They are the masters. I'm the god of stone betting. Wang Xian chuckled. Let's go to another stall. We'll make huge money today. Wang Xian tossed the jade stone to Mo Qinglong and looked at those urban masters. Old people, good luck. The several old men had their cheeks flushed as they stared at Wang Xian with shaky bodies. Hee hee. Wang Xian laughed sarcastically and proceeded to the next stall. Madame Zhu and the middle-aged man from Lingyu sect glared at Wang Xian with nasty looks. They gritted their teeth. Let's follow them. Wang Xian came to another stall as he scanned the jade stones. Immediately, he knew everything. Boss, give me these 7 pieces. Wang Xian pointed at 7 stones as he instructed the stall owner. Are you buying all these? They cost a total of $1.85 million. Bring them over. Wang Xian said immediately. Xiao Xian, aren't you buying too much? Lan Qingyu hesitated and reminded him when she saw him buying 7 pieces of rocks in one shot. Qingyu, just you watch. Wang Xian smiled at her as he received all the stones. He really thinks he can get a huge gain for all the stones he picked. Madame Zhu looked at Wang Xian and said with a sullen look. Wang Xian chuckled as soon as he heard that. He picked up a knife and wielded it at the jade stone. TSK, TSK, why is it a gain again? Wang Xian sighed and shook his head pretentiously. Those stone-betting masters were totally stunned as they witnessed it themselves. It's a fucking gain again. He looks at a stone, buys it, cuts it, and it's a gain. This is godlike. Fucking hell. It's a gain. Looks like it must be a middle-class jade stone that costs over $1 million. Lan Qingyu clapped her hands like a kid and exclaimed. This future son-in-law of the Lan family is too sick. Lan Quanfeng widened his eyes with his mouth wide open like a fool as he watched. Well, this should be more than $1 million. Here. He tossed the jade stone to Mo Qinglong before he continued. Another cut was done. Oops, nothing. It's a loss. My luck is getting poor. Wang Xian revealed a smile on his face. Out of 7 stones, 3 of them were gains, and 3 of them were wastes. Boom. However, a commotion erupted around him when he cut the last stone. FML. Emerald gemstone. Such a huge emerald gemstone that fucking costs $100 million. This is insane. The first emerald gemstone, highest value of a jade stone, was found in this year's stone betting festival. It was already impressive for someone to get a glass stone yesterday. Today, someone actually got an emerald gemstone. Emerald gemstone, the most supreme stone among the jade stones. Any one of them could easily fetch at least over 10 million. The one that Wang Xian got was worth at least 100 million. Yes. Wang Xian exhibited satisfaction on his face. He held the emerald gemstone that was palm-sized and passed it to Mo Qinglong with a smile. Gosh, Xiao Xian. You're amazing. Really amazing. Lan Qingyu was so excited that she could not help but give Wang Xian a peck. Of course. Wang Xian grinned. You don't have to procure the jade stones this year. Just leave it to me. Great, then I'll leave this to you. Lan Qingyu exclaimed with excitement. Wang Xian nodded with a smile. Let's carry on. Okay. Let's continue. How is this possible? Madame Zhu stared at Wang Xian with disbelief as she gritted her teeth. Madame Zhu, this is bizarre. He's picking up random jade stones, and he already made big bucks from them. This is totally illogical, those stone betting masters said with embarrassment. They were the top-notch stone betting masters in China. Now, a young man had surpassed them totally. This was simply, yes, that fellow is bizarre to earn more than 100 million within a short period. If he continues, he can support the entire deep-sea jewelry, Madame Zhu said with a sullen look. If that's the case, whatever plans we have to stop deep-sea jewelry from running their business are wasted, the middle-aged man from Lingyu sect said calmly. Madame Zhu turned around slowly as she looked at the middle-aged man from Jade Nation with a malevolent face. When the middle-aged man from Lingyu sect saw the look on Madame Zhu, he knit his eyebrows as a hint of ruthlessness flashed in his eyes. Shamala, can you settle something for us? The middle-aged man from Lingyu sect asked gravely. Brother Zhu, the jade stones are ours. We cannot do anything to them since they are not from our country. Moraine understood their intentions immediately as he smiled. Okay, when should we strike? Haha, we don't need timing. This is the turf of Shamala. We can strike at any time, Moraine said with nothing to fear. Chapter 218, You guys are ants in my territory. Madame Zhu and the middle-aged man from Lingyu sect gave a cold smirk. Shamala was a top-tier family in the capital of Jade Nation. The sect leader of Lingyu sect met the leader of the Shamala family by chance while on a mission. Because of this, the Zhu jewelry had been able to rise up rapidly. Just before this, to take a further step forward, the Zhu jewelry had allied completely with Lingyu sect. Since then, the Zhu jewelry and Lingyu sect would each receive 50% of the profits. As for the Zhu jewelry, it also made its way to become the strongest jewelry business in the country. This was the territory of Shamala family and they were in Jade Nation. It was too easy for them to deal with some external people. Hee. It's a shame that Miracle Dr. Wang has to die so early despite being so incredible, Madame Zhu said coldly with a smile. Deep-sea jewelry wants to compete with us. They are still a far cry from us. The middle-aged man from Lingyu sect laughed. This is. Near the center of the stone betting street, Wang Xian stood in front of a stall. Beside him, Mo Qinglong was carrying a huge bag. There were all kinds of gemstones in the bag. Adding them together, their value had exceeded $500 million. And their cost was only slightly above $10 million. This speed of earning money was truly horrifying. To prevent others from following them, Wang Xian stopped opening the stones after purchasing them. He was preparing to send them back to be checked in a secured place. This was also to prevent them from attracting too much attention. Wang Xian looked at the largest stone at the stall he came across. Using his piercing eye, he found the interior of the stone to be extremely creepy. It wasn't a gemstone in it, nor impurities. It was a sapling, a jade-green sapling. At the center of the stone, there was a blue liquid. Weird. Extremely weird. Moreover, Wang Xian found his eyes getting tired and extremely uncomfortable when looking into the stone with his piercing eye. This was the feeling he would get only when he tried to look through some immense power. However, why would a stone have such immense power? This might be a treasure. That sapling is able to survive within the stone. It is definitely not simple. Wang Xian thought to himself as his eyes lit up. He immediately said, Boss, I'm getting this stone. All right, sir. It's $3 million. That owner was thrilled and replied immediately. Wang Xian didn't say a word and simply reached his hands over to receive the stone. This stone was much larger than a basketball and weighed 30 to 40 catties. I'll do a thorough examination when I get back. he thought to himself before placing the stone in the bag Mo Qinglong was holding. Hello, everyone. It seems like you're having quite a fruitful day. At this moment, the voice of the middle-aged man from Lingyu sect sounded beside them. Huh! Lan Qingyu and Lan Quanfeng turned around and saw that 20-odd people had suddenly surrounded them. What are you guys trying to do now? Lan Quanfeng looked at the group of young men from Jade Nation. It was clear that they weren't friendly. How dare you guys steal in my territory? You guys must be really daring. Moraine's eyes lit up when he saw the bag in Mo Qinglong's hand as he remarked sarcastically. Steal? Lan Quanfeng and Lan Qingyu were shocked. Soon anger raged up. Steal? Since when did we steal? Which eyes of yours caught us stealing? Lan Quanfeng growled angrily. When? Just today. The loot is right in the bag you guys are carrying. Moraine smiled. I can attest to it. Madame Ju said with a smile confidently. Why did you have to resort to stealing? How shameless. Come with us. Moraine said mockingly. Slander. What proof do you have of us stealing? It is clear that we bought these. Moreover, what authority do you have to order us to go with you? Lan Quanfeng said solemnly. The authority comes from being part of the Shamala family. Moraine replied arrogantly. And based on the fact that this is our territory, Shamala. The owner was shocked when he heard the middle-aged man. He quickly lowered his head and greeted respectfully. Good afternoon, sir. Shamala. You are from the Shamala family? Shamala is an exceptionally strong family in the capital. This group of people must be eager to die for them to be daring to steal the items of the Shamala family. Isn't that middle-aged man the one in charge of this place? His standing in Shamala is really high. How did this group of foreigners offend them? This is the territory of the Shamala family. No one dares to offend the people of Shamala family in this place. Some passers-by looked across in shock, and at Moraine. Madame Ju, aren't you going a little overboard to accuse us without evidence? Lan Qingyu said coldly to Madame Ju and the crowd from Lingyu sect. With the strength of their country, the ancient martial arts families in Jade Nation wouldn't dare to beat them up. Moreover, the business circle restricted assassination of the other party. Once a party broke the rules, the party would be penalized. You stole the gemstones and it's only natural that they will be confiscated. Moreover, we won't harm you. However, the middle-aged man looked at Wang Xian and gave a murderous stare. Miracle Dr. Wang is from the underworld. He might suffer some injuries or even death. Haha, Miracle Dr. Wang is really incredible at stone betting. I'm really convinced. However, I've forgotten to tell you that this is my territory. Madame Ju laughed loudly and looked at Wang Xian. Shamala. Wang Xian turned solemn. He had not expected the Ju jewelry and Lingyu sect to link up with the local forces to target them. Moreover, they were so blatant. You guys are no different from robbers. Upon hearing them, Lan Qingyu stared coldly and chided them. Brat. You are now in my territory and you should watch your words. Otherwise, it's still fine to teach you a small lesson. Moraine replied coldly. Incredible. Incredible. To ally with Shamala family and frame us directly. Wang Xian looked mockingly at Moraine and remarked emotionlessly, Are you sure the Shamala family would want to go against us? I'm reminding you to think this through. Ha 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 ha. Moraine laughed loudly. Brat, I don't have to think about it. So what if we are going against you? Who the hell are you? Using the words from the Chinese, this is the territory of the Shamala family. Even if you are a dragon, you better stay down in front of us. Even if you are a tiger, you shall bow down in front of us. In my territory, you guys are just like ants. Is it so? Wang Xian revealed a cold smirk. I don't like to remain down. Wang Xian turned and stared harshly at the people from the Ju jewelry and Lingyu sect. Since you have chosen this, it's only courteous that I return the favor. Chapter 219, Miracle Dr. Wang, please give me your order. Haha, returning a favor? Then I shall wait and see what favors you are going to return us. Moraine looked at Wang Xian and laughed haughtily. 4 centuries, since the establishment of Shamala in Jade Nation, They had a strong foundation for over 100 years. How could a foreigner crush it as he wished? Shamala had nothing to be afraid of over here. Such arrogance. You're insolent when you're on someone else's turf. Seeking your own death. The middle-aged man narrowed his eyes and stared at Wang Xian scornfully. This is not your river town. 5 minutes. Wang Xian took his phone and said without any expressions. I'll give you 5 minutes. After that, you'll find out the consequences, said Moraine sarcastically. He felt funny when he heard the remarks, and could not be bothered by them. Xiao Xian, Lan Qingyu walked to Wang Xian and looked at him with worries. It's okay. Just wait for 5 minutes. Wang Xian beamed at Lan Qingyu. They are too powerful. Let me see if I can think of ways. Lan Quanfeng was unsure if Wang Xian could find a way to shake them off within 5 minutes. With panic, he took out a phone and made calls. Moraine, what are you doing here? Just then, an old man's voice was heard. Moraine was slightly stunned as he quickly put a smile on his face. He looked at that old man. Gambling king, they are trivial matters. A few people stole our things, and we're here to nab them. Yet, one of them told me to wait for 5 minutes. Hee. Oh. The old man smiled and nodded. Someone actually dared to provoke you guys in your territory. Some ignorant people. Moraine laughed and said. Apparently, he was fearful of the old man before him. Gambling king, he's the gambling king. Gambling king of Gambling City who went into seclusion 5 years ago. Never did I expect him to show up in Jade Nation. I heard the gambling king has been addicted to gambling his entire life. He's invincible in the Gambling City. After his gambling skill became almost godlike, he was addicted to stone betting. Never did I expect Gambling King to be here. The people behind Madame Ju looked at the old man with wonder. Senior Gambling King, I'm Ju Hong from Lingyu Sect. The middle-aged man from Lingyu Sect greeted the old man before him. Carry on with your business. I'm here for fun. Hee. The old man beamed and waved his hand before he looked at Wang Xian and the rest. Suddenly, the old man paused and stared at Wang Xian. He narrowed his eyes. You look familiar. You killed Gao Wen, didn't you? And the kids from Jiang family and Zhu clan. You did it, right? Ha! Wang Xian froze for a moment as he looked at the old man. The old man stared at Wang Xian with a darkened expression. Gao Wen is considered half a disciple to me. He's now working for Jiang family and those kids from Jiang family and Zhu clan. You can take your death penalty from the Gambling City. What? Everyone around him was stunned as they fixed their eyes on Wang Xian with disbelief. Hee, you even offended the Gambling City. Ignorant fellow. Madame Ju and Ju Hong from Lingyu Sect had their eyes on Wang Xian as they gloated over his misfortune. Gambling King, I didn't know that this fellow offended the Gambling City. He's asking for his own death. Moraine peered over and jeered at him. Ignorant indeed. Didn't he stir trouble in the Shamala's territory too? The old man said with a stern face. Old thing, you better watch what you're saying if you want to have a longer life. Just then, Mo Qinglong, who was standing at the side, glared coldly at him when he heard the old man asking the Dragon King to take his death penalty in Gambling City. Ha! The old man had a slight change in his expression. The aura around him began to alter as he stared at Mo Qinglong. Mo Qinglong continued with his stare while a black and soul-catching flame flashed in his eyes. Boom! Boom! At this moment, a booming sound was heard abruptly from the sky. Everyone was shocked as they shifted their attention from Mo Qinglong to the sky. Helicopters, armed helicopters. Hundreds of helicopters whirred in the sky, as the sound of the engines echoed through the stone-betting street. Woo! Everyone was peering at the hundreds of helicopters which were 20 meters away from the ground. At this moment, all the armed elite sodders slid down from the helicopters. An old man, at the center position, slid down from the helicopters as he scanned below him with a pair of cold eyes. When he saw Wang Xian's location, his eyes narrowed. Pack. All the armed soldiers landed with weapons in their hands. They were waiting for orders with icy-cold eyes. The old man landed on the ground and walked towards Wang Xian. Everyone around was dumbfounded and shocked to witness this. They did not understand why hundreds of helicopters and armed soldiers were present. General Gordonway, leader of Gordonway. The crowd cried out with their eyes wide open when they saw the old man taking majestic steps. The leader of Gordonway, General Gordonway, the founder of Gordonway family. The top figure in Jade Nation. He was a legendary figure who made his way to the top of the Jade Nation from a nobody. Leader of Gordonway. Moraine was taken aback as he looked at the old man fearfully. Those who knew the inside stories would understand how powerful this legendary figure was. Leading a congregation of buddies, this man and his pangolin had built the mighty Gordonway family. Over 30 years, the leader of Gordonway and his pangolin had dug up half of Jade Nation. Less than 5 people in the entire Jade Nation could compare with the inborn experts under him. Earlier on, he had encountered some issues with his cultivation. As such, all the experts in Jade Nation went to visit him. Why is he here? Looks like he's fine. Moraine pondered to himself. Just when Moraine, Madame Ju and Ju Hong were shocked by the lineup, the leader of Gordonway was already walking towards them. Under everyone's shocking gaze, the leader of Gordonway walked to Wang Xian and lowered himself with respect. Miracle Dr. Wang, please give me your order. What? Moraine could not believe his eyes. All the people around them were watching in disbelief. The leader of Gordonway from Jade Nation was bowing to that young man with respect. The legendary leader? You're fast. Wang Xian was shocked by his speed as he spoke with a smile. Your matter is my priority. I wonder which ignorant fellow offended you. The leader of Gordonway wore a smiling face as he spoke. However, Moraine, who saw his smiling face, was trembling in his boots. Chapter 220. Can't afford to offend, can't afford to offend. This member of the Shamala family accused us of stealing their jadestone and wanted to teach us a lesson. What an interesting accusation, Wang Xian said plainly to Moraine, who was by the side. When Moraine heard Wang Xian, his body shivered. To the astonishment of the surrounding crowd, he went down on his knees and begged, Leader of Gordonway, I didn't know. I didn't know that this man is your. All right, just get that old man from Shamala family to explain to me. If he can't explain clearly, just don't let me see him ever again. The leader of Gordonway looked at Moraine and remarked emotionlessly. Shamala family was powerful and a top-tier family in the entire capital. Claiming this to be the territory of Shamala family wasn't an exaggeration at all. However, this was just a city after all. It was just the capital. As for the Gordonway family, one could say that they possessed a similar standing as the Shamala family throughout the entire Jade Nation. The differences between the two of them were huge. Leader of Gordonway, please forgive me. I'm begging you to forgive me. I was wrong. Please. Moraine kowtowed to the leader of Gordonway constantly in horror. If he were to ask the leader of the Shamala family to explain, without a doubt, he would be sent to the leader of Gordonway as a corpse. Scram. The leader of Gordonway saw Moraine and chided coldly. No, Moraine's eyes were filled with despair. He kneeled in front of Wang Xian and begged, Your Honor, please let me go. Please forgive me. Ignorance isn't a fault. I beg you. Oh, you know ignorance isn't a fault. It seems like you understand Chinese idioms pretty well. Hee. What a shame. We are in Jade Nation and Jade Nation doesn't have this line. Wang Xian looked mockingly at Moraine. Didn't you say that you would show me the outcome? What's the matter now? You meant this outcome? No. Bam. A warrior saw Moraine remain on the floor begging for forgiveness. Therefore, he walked straight over and kicked him in the head. After which, he dragged him away. Miracle Dr. Wang, I'll give you a satisfactory answer for this. The leader of Gordonway gave his promise to Wang Xian. I'll just leave him to you. Oh right. As Wang Xian was speaking, he turned to the people from the Ju Jewelry and Lingyu sect. He gave them a cold smirk before adding, Leader of Gordonway, do you have a say on the jadestone trade of this place? The trading of jadestone and similar activities are mainly in the control of the Shamala family and a few other families. However, I have the same authority over these, the leader of Gordonway replied with a smile. That's great. In that case, I'd like the leader of Gordonway to do me a favor by stopping all trade with the Ju Jewelry in the future. On top of it, please help Deep Sea Jewelry get in contact with the respective families so as to discuss further collaboration, Wang Xian said heartily. Not a problem. These are just some small matters. The leader of Gordon Wei nodded his head, turned to Madame Zhu and the group from Lingyu sect and said emotionlessly, ban them from entering Jade Nation in the future. And expel them right now, the leader of Gordon Wei said and gestured to the warriors around him. Get out of Jade Nation immediately. In that instant, a dozen warriors pointed their weapons at them and shouted coldly. At this moment, Madame Zhu and the group from Lingyu sect was completely stunned and embarrassed. They had never expected a phone call from that juvenile to summon more than 100 helicopters over in less than 5 minutes. Moreover, his background was so strong that it sent chills down their spines. They had heard of the reputation of the leader of Gordon Wei too. Yet, an existence of such status was so respectful towards him. How? How could this be possible? Banning Jadestone Tredesel with the Zhu jewelry? Madame Zhu shivered as she got flustered and terrified. Banning the Zhu jewelry from the trade of Jadestone would be equivalent to chopping off their arms. How were they going to compete with the Deep Sea Jewelry in the future? Scram. Otherwise, we won't be courteous. A warrior chided coldly at Madame Zhu and the group from Lingyu sect. Let's go, let's go. Zhu Hong from Lingyu sect turned around bitterly. To be expelled from the Jade Nation and restricted from entering ever again was the greatest humiliation he ever received. Read more chapter on novel full. At this moment, a soft voice sounded from the side. So powerful. So powerful. The gambling king from Gambling City wiped the blood off the edge of his mouth with his arm. He looked in shock at Mo Qinglong as fear flashed past his eyes. In the clash of aura during the exchange of gazes, he threw out blood directly from the pressure he felt. He was the strongest existence in Gambling City and an inborn expert. Yet he was injured in the clash of the aura. Hey old fool. Don't act tough when you speak. It might just cost you your life. Mo Qinglong said emotionlessly to the old man. The old man was surprised and didn't say a further word. He took a glance at the leader of Gordon Wei talking to Wang Xian and was even more shocked. Can't afford to offend. We really can't afford to offend. No wonder he could sink the crews of the Jiang family and kill that brat from the Zhu clan of the Jiang family without reserve. Puff. He took a deep breath and looked at Mo Qinglong again. This horrifying expert that even he was wary of turned around and left briefly. Hey. The gambling king took out his phone and made a call briefly. Gambling king, what are your instructions? The gambling city within the country was one of the 4 largest gambling cities in the world. In a grandly renovated casino, an old man answered the phone respectfully. Despite being in a different country, this old man was still very cautious and respectful. From this, one could tell the influence of the gambling king. Just forget about the incident of Gao Wen and your grandson. That miracle Dr. Wang isn't simple, the gambling king said emotionlessly before hanging up directly without a second word. Forget it. The old man held the phone in his hand blankly as his expression changed. Forget about the billion-dollar cruise and the life of my grandson just like this. The old man was bitter. However, the instructions were given by the gambling king and he had to be cautious with them. Should I just give up like this? The old man was unwilling to. His eyes flickered as he picked up the phone and contacted the old man from the Zhu clan. Xiao Xian. You. When the leader of Gordon Wei left, Lan Qingyu stared at Wang Xian, feeling stunned and speechless. A phone call and 5 minutes. And the highest existence in Gordon Wei rushed over with 100 helicopters. A request and the Zhu jewelry was restricted from stepping into Jade Nation and restricted from getting any Jadestone. A request and the Deep Sea jewelry would become the most loyal working partner with the Jade Nation. Everything seemed so simple to the point that Lan Qingyu found it unbelievable. She recalled the gambling king from Gambling City who left spewing blood, and the sunken cruise on the seas previously. The man, who was younger than him, seemed to possess unrivaled capabilities. Lan Quanfeng, who was standing by the side, was equally dumbfounded. His hand, which was carrying his phone, was shivering a little. He made a call to look for a contact in Jade Nation. The answer he received from his contact was that he was completely helpless, and that he couldn't offend the Shamala family, and Lan Quanfeng was on his own. Yet, to his astonishment, the future son-in-law of the Lan family was able to get the top-tier force in the entire Jade Nation to help him with just a single call. This was even more shocking than annihilating the Liu family previously. Chapter 221, Glowing Like a Goddess. Who are they to summon the leader of Gordon Wei and his troops here personally? He must have formidable backings. Could he be the young master of some Chinese supreme-class families? How scary. This time, Shamala family has hit a snag. When the spectators around them saw the departure of the leader of Gordon Wei, they began to peer over the other side and whisper among themselves. Let's continue. Wang Xian spotted Lan Qingyue's shocked look, so he stroked her head gently. Gosh, Xiao Xian. You're way too impressive. You actually summoned the leader of Gordon Wei over. Without the channel in Jade Nation, the Ju jewelry will not be the match of deep sea jewelry in the future. Xiao Xian, thank you. How about this? When I go back, I'll have a board meeting, and I'll distribute you some shares. Lan Qingyu was animated as she grabbed Wang Xian's arm and rattled on non-stop. Wang Xian chuckled, forget it. I'm not interested in this. Oh, I'll pass the jade stones to you later on. Qingyu, help me get some gold and silver bricks with that. The more, the merrier. Gold and silver bricks. Sure, leave this to me, said Lan Qingyu with a smile without asking anything further. Currently, the Dragon Palace required 100 tons of gold, 100,000 of silver, 1 million tons of bronze, 10,000 tons of fine iron, 1 million tons of coral reefs, 1 ton of 5 colors of gemstones each, and 1 ton of spiritual stones. He had collected 23 tons of gold, around 100 tons of silver, 5 tons of bronze, and 100 tons of fine iron. No progress on coral reefs and 5 colors of gemstones had been made yet, but he had managed to collect 1/10 of the spiritual stones. On the whole, Wang Xian lacked many things. He needed to find coral reefs and 5 colors of gemstones in the sea. Coral reefs were common though. After touring the stone betting street once, about 500 stones were collected in 2 of Mo Qinglong's bags. If Wang Xian cut out all the stones, he believed their value would not be less than 2 billion. Let's find a hotel and rest. My uncle and I will be discussing the Jade Stones partnership with a few companies tomorrow. You don't have to follow me. After a busy day, Wang Xian and Lan Qingyu checked into a hotel in the evening. Sure. I'll get some rest tomorrow at the hotel. Wang Xian smiled and said. Yes, we should be departing for China tomorrow afternoon. Get some rest. After dinner, Wang Xian chatted with Lan Qingyu for a while before he returned to his room. I wonder, what's that sapling in the stone? When Wang Xian returned to his room, he took out the stone that he had bought from the stall and observed it with amazement. Let me open it. He held the rock in his hand and began to apply force. Ha! I can't even break this stone, even with my current strength. Wang Xian was shocked. He thought of the time when his eyes ached after staring at it with his piercing eyes. He knit his eyebrows and punched hard on that stone. The stone remained unmoved. Buzz. At the same time, Wang Xian's phone suddenly rang. Feeling doubtful, he placed the stone aside for the time being. Hello, Miracle Dr. Guanghua? Is there anything? Wang Xian picked up the phone and asked puzzledly. Miracle Dr. Wang, I'm sorry to disturb you at this hour. Where are you now? Asked Miracle Dr. Guanghua in panic. I'm at the Oi International Hotel. What's the matter, Miracle Dr. Guanghua? Is anything wrong? Upon hearing his tonality, Wang Xian hurriedly asked. My most junior disciple is in trouble. It's complicated. I would like you to come over and take a look, said Miracle Dr. Guanghua anxiously. Your most junior disciple? Wang Xian was slightly stunned as he thought of Dr. Sunday immediately. He asked, where are you now? I'll be right over. I'll send you an address. It's not far. Wang Xian looked at the map and rushed over to Miracle Dr. Guanghua's place. Wang Xian arrived at a hotel 10 minutes later. He headed directly to the presidential suite on the highest floor. Miracle Dr. Wang, you're here. It was a disciple of Miracle Dr. Guanghua who opened the door. When he saw his arrival, he quickly led him into the room. Wang Xian saw Dr. Sun lying on the sofa after he entered the living room. Guang Hua, beside her, was poking her with a silver needle non-stop. Wang Xian noticed that miracle Dr. Guang Hua's clothes were in bits and pieces. Apparently, this was after a fight. What's going on? What happened? Wang Xian went over and saw Dr. Sun, whose entire body was as white as snow. Her entire body was a milk color, exuding a faint luster. Not even a drop of blood was flowing in her body. She was as white as snow, glowing just like a goddess. Miracle Dr. Bloodman did this. Miracle Dr. Guang Hua lifted his chin and looked at Wang Xian with a worn-out face. Xiao Xiu went back to the room in the evening. Subsequently, I didn't find her inside, but there were signs of a struggle in the room. I traced it and found Xiao Xiu lying on the ground in a mountain. Miracle Dr. Bloodman was battling with the holy priest. I got her back, but I realized all her blood had been sucked. Miracle Dr. Guang Hua darkened his expression as he spoke. All her blood was sucked. Wang Xian's heart sank as he walked to Dr. Sun immediately. With his piercing eyes, her perfect figure was exposed under his vision. He scanned inside Dr. Sun's body and realized there was not a single drop of blood in it. Yet, unique white-colored energy was maintaining her vitality. Her heart is not beating, yet she maintained her vitality. How did you do it, Miracle Dr. Guang Hua? Wang Xian was shocked as he squatted down. With all the blood sucked dry, Dr. Sun should have been dead immediately. But yet, she was still alive. If the white-colored energy completely disappeared, she would die immediately at such a state. I don't have this ability. Miracle Dr. Guang Hua shook his head bitterly. I guess this is her unique constitution. When I first met her, I found her special, as though she was carrying bright energy with her. She's suitable to be a doctor. She gave me a similar feeling to the holy priest. Hence, I accepted her as my disciple. Miracle Dr. Wang, I asked you here to see if you have ways to treat my disciple. Her blood was sucked dry, and her vitality is maintained by special energy. Once this energy disappears, she will die. Besides, she would reject other blood given her current state. Guang Hua continued to say, I can only slow down the energy consumption through acupuncture. But I don't think this will last any longer. Wang Xian nodded and grabbed Dr. Sun's arm. A stream of wood energy entered her body. Boom. The moment Wang Xian's wood energy entered Dr. Sun's body, the white-colored glowing energy intensified in her body. It was as hot as the sun. Chapter 222, The Female Light Divine Dragon. When Miracle Dr. Guang Hua saw his disciple emitting a brilliant light, he was shocked. Junior sister looks so holy and pure. The white-shirt young man by the side was dumbfounded and simply stared blankly at Dr. Sun, who was on the sofa. Her current pure and beautiful looks were similar to the records of holy goddesses in mythology. Seeing Dr. Sun emitting radiant light, Wang Xian was stunned. He started observing her body carefully. Pure and flawless, fair without impurities. Even her 8 extraordinary meridians have no signs of blockage at all. Inborn constitution. This is what a real inborn constitution is. Wang Xian looked at Dr. Sun's body in shock. Pure and flawless. This wasn't the inborn constitution created using dragon energy by Wang Xian, but a naturally formed inborn constitution. And there's unique white-colored energy of the light attribute around her. No, it can't be. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and recalled the time when he had encountered the 5-element stone plate. 5 elements source stone was the origin sources of the 5 attributes. The light that Dr. Sun was emitting currently was almost identical to the energy emitted by the 5 elements origin sources. Origin source constitution? This is comparable to the divine dragon's bloodline. Why would this appear on Earth? Wang Xian's eyes popped open. When looking at races in the universe, one could look at bloodline or constitution. The divine dragon's bloodline was the bloodline of the highest level. As for origin source constitution, it was the constitution of the highest level. I would never have expected this. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. However, Dr. Sun's blood had been sucked dry. I have to inject fresh blood into her. However, the origin source constitution will reject an ordinary bloodline. Wang Xian hesitated for a moment before squeezing out a drop of essence blood from his hand. He dripped the blood onto Dr. Sun and directed it slowly into where her heart was. Thump. At this moment, her heart beat. A concentrated stream of dragon energy entered the heart of Dr. Sunday. Thump, thump, thump. Not good. This won't work unless I inject all my blood into Dr. Sun's body. Wang Xian frowned instantly. He wanted to use his blood as a starter and rely on the blood creation ability of the heart to restore blood in Dr. Sunday. However, things weren't as simple as he had thought. Her heart's blood creation ability isn't sufficient. Although her constitution is exceptional, she is still an ordinary person. She has not even contacted ancient martial arts previously. Wang Xian frowned and pondered. How is it? Is there nothing Miracle Dr. Wang can do? Guanghua saw the light disappearing and commented bitterly. I can give it a try, but I have to get back to the country. Wang Xian recalled something and said to Guanghua. Phew. Are you confident, Miracle Dr. Wang? Guanghua frowned and asked. Rest assured, it shouldn't be a problem. I can still maintain her vitality at this moment. Wang Xian said with a smile. That's great, that's great. Miracle Dr. Wang's medical skills are indeed incredible. There's nothing I could have done. Miracle Dr. Guanghua shook his head and sighed emotionally. I will also need to rely on some spiritual medicine. Wang Xian shook his head and continued, do you want to hand Dr. Sun to me, or would Miracle Dr. Guanghua prefer to go to Rivertown with me? I'll go to Rivertown with you. Although I have just accepted this disciple, she has only encountered this catastrophe because she followed me. If I can't see her recovery, I won't be at ease. Miracle Dr. Guanghua replied. All right. We will head back tomorrow afternoon. At that time, we can travel together. All right, Miracle Dr. Wang. On the second morning, Lan Qingyu and Lan Quanfeng went to negotiate the details of the collaboration. As for Wang Xian, he continued his examination of that stone. In the afternoon, the group took a plane back to Flow City. Xiao Xian, I have told Guan Shuqing about you helping to treat the disciple of Miracle Dr. Guanghua. Don't harbor other ideas. When the two of them were about to separate, Lan Qingyu took a glance at Dr. Sun, who was on the stretcher, and warned Wang Xian. Wang Xian was speechless and found it hilarious. Nonetheless, he nodded his head and commented, I'm a doctor. TSK. After giving a cold sneer and rolling her eyes at Wang Xian, Lan Qingyu pouted and left. Wang Xian shook his head and looked to Miracle Dr. Guanghua. Miracle Dr. Guanghua, send Dr. Sun to my place. All right. After sending Dr. Sun to Wang Xian's villa, Miracle Dr. Guanghua sat around for a little while before leaving with his disciples. Wang Xian looked at Dr. Sun, who slept silently on the bed like a holy goddess, before taking a glance at the time. Let's go get that thing over, Wang Xian thought in his mind. He went to the top floor of the villa, removed his clothes and jumped into the sea. Roar. He swayed his tail and swam towards the coral region of Bohai Sea rapidly. Swish swish swish. Along the way, Prime Minister Turtle, Roving Heavens, Roving Lobster and Roving Girl joined in and followed behind him. After half an hour, Wang Xian arrived at the coral region once again. That was the dangerous territory of the Devil Flowers. Devil Flowers, Level 12. Extractable dragon energy from the flower sac, 1,112,343. Looking at the giant devil flowers ahead of him, Wang Xian turned serious. The level 12 devil flowers were the strongest marine animals in the entire Bohai Sea. Wang Xian could only choose to avoid it when he encountered it previously. However, with his current strength, he definitely could defeat it. Restrict all the tentacles of the devil flowers and kill it. Wang Xian instructed his subordinates. Yes, Dragon King, attack. Wang Xian shifted his body and turned into a golden dragon of the metal attribute. He immediately attacked the flower petals using his razor-sharp claws. Swish swish swish. At the instant Wang Xian launched his attack, hundreds of tentacles wrapped towards Wang Xian. Wang. Boom. At this moment, Roving Heavens and Prime Minister Turtle also acted. They immediately attacked the various tentacles. Wang Xian grabbed towards the huge petal with his dragon claws. With the powers from the entire dragon palace and Wang Xian's level increment, the devil flowers were slowly being ripped apart. The tentacles were being chopped off one after another. It's done. Wang Xian reached downwards and pulled up a huge flower sac. I can get more than 1,000,000 points of dragon energy if I devour it. It seems like I have to let Dr. Sun repay this slowly in the future. Wang Xian shifted and swam back towards his villa. His subordinates dispersed to the surroundings and continued with their cultivation practice. Splash. Back in his room, Wang Xian noted that Xiao Yu had not returned. He went into the room where Dr. Sun was. Extractable dragon energy from the flower sac is 1,112,343. It could restore and strengthen one's heart. This flower sac is equivalent to a level 12 spiritual medicine. Its effects are definitely insane, Wang Xian thought in his heart. He looked at Dr. Sun and slowly slipped the flower sac into her mouth. With a thought, the flower sac turned into liquid and entered her body. In that instant, her body glowed in glorious white light and her heart started beating violently. With Wang Xian's blood as a trigger, drop after drop of blood was being created. Blood of the divine dragon was being created and slowly flowed into her body and limbs. Wang Xian looked at Dr. Sun and hesitated for a moment. With a thought, he injected the cultivation arts of the light divine dragon into her mind. The current Dr. Sun had completely shaken off the bloodline of a human and was metamorphosing into the bloodline of the divine dragon. This form of bloodline was not something the Dragonians couldn't compete with. A female light divine dragon. Chapter 223, Progenitor Tree. Gagaga. I finally reached Prince Realm. What exhilarating and mighty energy. Back on the other side of the world, Miracle Dr. Bloodman was roaring with excitement in the basement of a castle in Europe. Massive energy including oppression, darkness, terror, and the power to conceal sun and moon exuded from his body. Brother, sister-in-law is here too. We're here to check if you're hiding any woman. Just when Wang Xian was staring at Dr. Sun, Xiao Yu's exclamation was heard from the outside. He was stunned, and the door swung open immediately. 3 girls, Xiao Yu, Guan Shuqing, and Elder Fang went inside. Wow! 3 of them stared at Dr. Sun on the bed with amazement in their eyes. Her pure and flawless face made her look just like a holy goddess. Her perfect figure was envied by all the girls. She was a goddess that could make countless men go crazy for her. Even when Elder Fang looked at her, she could not hide her astonishment. No wonder Qing Yu sent me a message to get me here. Guan Shuqing stared blankly at Dr. Sun as she whispered. Wow, brother. Where did you get this stunning beauty from? She's so ravishing, pure and holy. That was her disposition. Dr. Sun, who was lying on the bed, was giving off a glow just like a goddess. This would make most of the girls ashamed of themselves. Hey, she's the disciple of Miracle Dr. Guanghua and used to be a doctor from our city hospital. Something happened to her, so she needed treatment. Wang Xian looked at them and quickly explained. TMPH, you used to give treatments only in the medical hall. That's where you get your mad doctor nickname from. But now, you brought a patient back home just because she's a beauty. Guan Shuqing glared at him angrily. Ahem, this is a special case. Her sickness is quite complicated even when I'm the one treating her. I don't know when she can wake up. Wang Xian explained again. Immediately, he fished out pieces of jade jewelry from his pocket. Pigeon blood ruby. I bought this from Jade Nation especially for you. Wang Xian pressed near Guan Shuqing with a smiling face as he took out an exquisite necklace and passed it to her. Hehe, that's more like it. Guan Shuqing was pleased as she held the necklace up and gazed at it with love. Brother. At this time, Wang Xian heard Xiao Yu's displeased voice. Hehe, how could I forget about my beloved sister? Wang Xian laughed and took out another piece of jewelry. Then, he turned to Elder Fang and said, Elder Fang, here's yours. Everyone gets one. Thank you. Elder Fang smiled as she received the jewelry from Wang Xian. Shuqing, you've been practicing with Xiao Yu for a few days. How's your cultivation? Wang Xian asked Guan Shuqing with concern. When Guan Shuqing found out about Xiao Yu's cultivation, she was tempted to try too. Hence, Wang Xian got Elder Fang to guide her as well. I'm a level 5 martial artist now. Am I awesome? Guan Shuqing said animatedly. So fast. Wang Xian was stunned as he asked with consternation. Brother, you don't know how crazy sister-in-law is. She's even faster than I am now. I started my cultivation a dozen days ahead of her, and I'm only at level 6. It was also the spiritual medicine that I took which got me this far. Xiao Yu went along with her words with a surprised look. Wang Xian looked over with an astonished look as Elder Fang nodded her head slowly. Apparently, she was also shocked by the cultivation speed of Guan Shuqing. She was simply too crazy. Are you that powerful? Wang Xian was somewhat surprised, as he had not unblocked all the 8 extraordinary meridians in her. Yet, her cultivation was much faster than Xiao Yu. Heh, that's my ability. Guan Shuqing lifted her chin complacently as she replied joyously. Wang Xian smiled and nodded. That's true. Shuqing, you're the best. You've got a wife, so you forget all about your sister. Xiao Yu, next to him, rolled her eyes at him. By the way, did you see the spiritual medicines on the rooftop? That fish secretion grass? You can use it if it's useful for your cultivation, said Wang Xian to Xiao Yu. Yes, I saw it. When sect leader Tang sent some spiritual medicines to me the other day, he was dumbfounded. Xiao Yu chuckled. Read more chapter on novel full. After Wang Xian was gone, Xiao Yu came to the rooftop for her cultivation every day. When she went up with her master for the first time, they were stunned for 5 minutes after seeing the spiritual medicines. The level 4 spiritual beads and the level 5 spiritual medicine, fish secretion grass, contained immense spiritual strength. Sect leader Tang found level 2 spiritual medicine after some hard work. Hence, he brought them over. In the end, he was so embarrassed that he put his spiritual medicine away when he saw the spiritual grass lying around on the rooftop. Thinking back, Xiao Yu found it extremely funny. If it benefits your cultivation, just use it. You don't have to save it for me. Elder Fang, you can use it to enhance your strength too, said Wang Xian to them. Elder Fang gave a bitter smile. It was level 5 spiritual medicine. Even her sect leader swallowed mouthfuls of saliva when he saw it. He also stared at it with a shaky body for half a day, not to mention her. Yet, the spiritual medicine was placed on the rooftop just like some weed. It was a total waste of resources. They were chatting and laughing as they came to the living room. Elder Fang went to the kitchen to cook dinner. After dinner, Wang Xian pulled Guan Shuqing into the room for a chat. Their moaning was so loud that Elder Fang jerked her body slightly with flickering eyes on the second floor. But Wang Xian missed the fiery flame flashing in Guan Shuqing's eyes during their intercourse. 3 hours later, Guan Shuqing pleaded with him to stop. Wang Xian came to the rooftop of the villa to enjoy the cold breeze while sobering himself up. I shall check out this thing then. Wang Xian picked up the stone beside him. It was the same stone he'd bought from Jade Nation. There was no way he could break the stone in his human form. Wang Xian took the stone and leaped into the sea. Roar! With a soft growl, Wang Xian turned into a divine dragon. He immediately scratched the stone with his dragon claws. Ka. Finally, the stone cracked under his mighty force. Ding! A sapling of a progenitor tree was found. Do you want to plant it in your body? The moment the stone cracked open, he felt a gust of green aura coming at him. The system notification prompted him at the same time. Wang Xian was stunned for a moment. But without further ado, he agreed. The sapling of the progenitor tree is planted. You may absorb the Azure Dragon energy. The system notification was heard again. At that instant, Wang Xian felt a strong suction in his body that seemed to be sucking all the vitality he had in his body. His facial expression changed slightly as he quickly closed his eyes. He began to meditate so that he could control the suction to absorb all the dragon energy in the world. 1 hour. 5 hours. 10 hours. Wang Xian sat with his legs crossed in the ocean quietly without moving. This won't do. This is a fucking endless pit. I must go for a retreat to suck the sapling of the progenitor tree dry. After 12 hours, Wang Xian opened his eyes and spoke with a grumpy look. He immediately returned to the villa and quickly explained to Guan Shuqing and Xiao Yu about his plan before he went back to his room. Retreat. Chapter 224, 1 month. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. Wang Xian didn't know how long he had been cultivating. Only through constant cultivation practice could he barely keep up with the absorption of that damn sapling of the progenitor tree. Guan Shuqing, Xiao Yu and Lan Qingyu would come over to take a look at Wang Xian, who was sitting with his legs crossed in his room, from time to time. If it wasn't for Wang Xian emitting dense vitality and reminders from Mo Qinglong who stayed beside Wang Xian, they would probably have sent Wang Xian to the hospital. On the 25th day, Dr. Sun woke up. When she opened her eyes, the image of a light divine dragon flickered and a horrifying pressure emitted from her body. Xiao Yu and Guan Shuqing asked Dr. Sun to go home first but were rejected by her. She stayed within the villa and within Wang Xian's room the entire day while looking blankly at Wang Xian. From time to time, she would use a towel to clean his face. While doing so, she always wore a blissful expression which might have been due to having the same bloodline as Wang Xian. Her body emitted a kind of holiness and nobility that made one feel that this woman shouldn't exist in the mortal realm. Dr. Sun's persistence and gentleness made Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu feel a strong sense of danger. However, Dr. Sun was treating them very kindly. This made them a little speechless. In the room of Wang Xian a month later, Dr. Sun stared at Wang Xian with a blissful smile while Mo Qinglong stood at his side deferentially. When he looked at Dr. Sun, it was with respect and fear. Phew. It's finally not absorbing anymore. At this moment, Wang Xian opened his eyes and heaved a sigh. Miracle Dr. Wang, you are awake. A pleasant voice sounded beside his ears. Wang Xian was slightly stunned and looked over. An exquisite and perfect face appeared in front of him. Her bright eyes were staring intensely at Wang Xian. Wang Xian was taken aback. Sensing the dramatic change in her aura and the even more beautiful Dr. Sun, he revealed a faint smile and exclaimed, Dr. Sun, you are awake. Yeah, thank you, Miracle Dr. Wang. You can just call me Lingxiu. Don't call me Dr. Sun. Sun Lingxiu had the smile of a goddess. When she saw Wang Xian getting up, she immediately reached over to help him up. It's all right, I can do it myself. Wang Xian immediately replied. However, Sun Lingxiu still kept a warm smile, looking intensely at him and helping him up. An alluring scent floated by, making Wang Xian a little aroused. Miracle Dr. Wang, shoes. Sun Lingxiu picked up the shoes on the floor and wanted to put them on for him. What the? Wang Xian looked blankly at Sun Lingxiu. She was wholly like a goddess and wore a white shirt. Her perfect figure was much better than Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu. It was especially so for the vibes from her body. Even Wang Xian felt inferior to her in this aspect. Someone like her was going to put on shoes for him? It's fine. Let me do it myself. I can do it myself. Wang Xian interrupted immediately. It's all right. Miracle Dr. Wang saved my life. This is something I should do. Sun Lingxiu shook her head and squatted down. Wang Xian couldn't take it. He grabbed his shoes quickly and put them on. Miracle Dr. Wang, let me make you some food. You have not eaten for a long time. Sun Lingxiu replied with a smile before walking out of the room. Wang Xian's jaw dropped and he looked to Mo Qinglong who was beside him. He felt confused and asked, Old Mo, what happened? Mo Qinglong shook his head and answered, Young master, I don't know either. Since Miss Sun woke up, she has been staying by your side. Moreover, Mo Qinglong hesitated for a moment before continuing, Miss Sun is really strong now. In fact, she's even stronger than me. I can sense young master's vibes from her. I believe that this is because of the bloodline. Bloodline. Wang Xian sank into thought. There's a saying that goes along with the idea that blood is thicker than water. The blood within Sun Lingxiu was from him and they shared a common root and source. This was similar to Wang Xian's future child who would inherit his bloodline. It was just that Sun Lingxiu had inherited it by a different method. Therefore, Sun Lingxiu would develop a unique affection for him. This type of unique feelings together with her admiration and love for Wang Xian from previous occasions made these feelings even stronger than before. It seems like things have gone beyond my expectations. Wang Xian had initially thought of curing her and raising her to be a great miracle doctor. In that case, there would be someone helping him earn money, and he wouldn't be that busy in the future. Forget it. Let's just take a step at a time. However, Sun Lingxiu still has to stay with me at this moment, Wang Xian thought to himself. After which, he looked to Mo Qinglong and asked, "How long have I been practicing behind closed doors?" "A month, young master." "Some things happened during the month," answered Mo Qinglong. "So long? Speak. What happened?" Wang Xian asked curiously. "First, young master's ranking on the Miracle Doctors chart has increased to 8th. Many people have invited young master to take a look at their illnesses. Second, assassins from the Sneaky Thorn organization were sent to assassinate young master recently. The Sneaky Thorn organization has now been annihilated by 7 Dragonians. The 7 of them have established the Abyss, an assassin organization, and returned to their previous occupations. The Abyss received news from the Sneaky Thorn organization that the one who issued the mission was from the Gambling City. They are now assassinating the higher management of Gambling City. An inborn expert has been assassinated by Abyss, and the name of Abyss is now known throughout the underworld. Mo Qinglong smiled and explained to Wang Xian. "Oh, is it? That's great. Establishing an assassination organization in less than a month. However, inform them to only kill those who deserve it. We don't have to be the embodiment of justice, but we can't be too evil," replied Wang Xian with a smile. Based on the cultivation pace of the 50 Dragonians, they should be martial artist level 9 by now. Those who were diligent might have even reached the stage of half-step to inborn. Previously, the 50 Dragonians could have reached the inborn realm if they practiced behind closed doors for 100 days. However, they were now acting outside. Therefore, the time required to reach the inborn realm might have been extended a little. Nonetheless, 50 Dragonians were definitely able to cause a storm in the underworld. "Yes, young master." The 50 Dragonians managed to earn 500 spiritual stones in a month. Mo Qinglong answered. "It seems like my previous decision was correct." Wang Xian smiled and stretched his body. "I haven't been out for a month. It's time to relax a little." He had been behind closed doors for a while. Feeling the little sapling in his body, Wang Xian had the urge to spew blood. The little sapling was known as the progenitor tree. The name sounded cool, and the fact that it could merge with his body was impressive. However, it didn't seem to have any effects at all. The only information about the progenitor tree was the ancestor of all wood. As to its effects, he had no clues at all. This made him speechless. A month of cultivation practice behind closed doors, and all he got was a little sapling that he did not know the use of. "Miracle Dr. Wang, have something to eat." At this moment, the voice of Sun Lingxiu sounded from outside the room. Her voice was as sweet as a bird and made one's heart skip a beat. "All right, thank you." Wang Xian walked out of the room. When he saw dishes of delicacies placed on the dining table, he quickened his pace down the stairs. "You don't have to thank me. I'm just repaying the debt of gratitude," Sun Lingxiu said to Wang Xian with a smile. Chapter 225, Back to School. "If the food doesn't taste good, let me know, and I'll do it again." Sun Lingxiu sat opposite Wang Xian as she looked at him with a smiling face. There was a faint smile on a fair and flawless face. Staring at her holy look seemed almost a disrespectful act. Wang Xian was uncomfortable with her gaze. With slight hesitation, he asked, "Lingxiu, just call me Wang Xian. How's your cultivation progress going?" "I think I'll still call you Xiao Xian since it is more cordial." Sun Lingxiu tilted her head slightly and beamed. "I'm at the 5th divine dragon transformation, but I don't think I can transform into a divine dragon yet." When Wang Xian saw her adorable look that was inconsistent with her holy appearance, he received a significant impact due to the stark contrast. Probably, it was not the right time yet. Sun Lingxiu was, after all, not a real dragon race. If she wanted to become a dragon, she would need an evolution process. Hence, she was not an authentic female divine dragon yet. From now on, you can just follow me. I'll leave the Divine Dragon Medical Hall in your hands. Wang Xian hesitated before he spoke. Part of the reason he spent tremendous effort to treat her was because of the Divine Dragon Medical Hall. Really, Xiao Xian? A hint of excitement flashed in Sun Lingxiu's eyes. The light Divine Dragon transformation which I'm cultivating can cleanse any impurities through the light energy. It is quite effective too. Given my current strength, I'm confident in treating some terminal diseases. Okay, I'm kinda lazy. I'll leave Divine Dragon Medical Hall to you from now on. Wang Xian smiled and nodded. But you need to let Miracle Dr. Guang Hua know about this. I got this. Master is very kind to me. I'll tell him about it later. Sun Lingxiu nodded. Miracle Dr. Guang Hua could no longer guide her in her current medical skills. Okay. Wang Xian smiled and took out his phone to check the time. He realized it was noon. In addition, he had received many messages which included some from the school counselor from the school. The counselor sent him dozens of messages. The school counselor sounded angry and anxious in his last message. You'll be expelled if you don't come back to school. Wang Xian revealed a bitter smile. His attendance for classes did not exceed 10 days ever since the new semester began. Earlier on, he had applied for a month's vacation, but it was already over. Besides, he may have been a well-known figure in Rivertown, but not many people in school knew about it. All the more, the school counselors were going nuts about it. They would deduct credits as long as he was absent. Apart from his school counselor's messages, there were dozens of Wang Dahai's calls and messages. He was asking about his whereabouts and why he was not there for classes. Then he stopped asking 10 days ago. Probably he had heard about Wang Xian's updates from Xiao Yu. Then, it was old Qin and old Shui's messages. Wang Xian replied to them one by one. Let's go back to school. Wang Xian pondered. No matter what, he could not be expelled from the school. He intended to visit the principal or send some gifts to him. I need to go to school. I'll take you to the medical hall tomorrow. Wang Xian told Sun Lingxiu. Sure, I'll look for my master later on. Sun Lingxiu nodded. Wang Xian nodded. After lunch, he went outside with Mo Qinglong following behind him. Let's get a cab. We'll go to school. Wang Xian instructed Mo Qinglong, who was following behind him. Young master, we don't have to take a cab. I bought a car recently. Mo Qinglong chuckled as he told Wang Xian. You bought a car? What car? Wang Xian was stunned and asked with interest. When Wang Xian had told Mo Qinglong to buy a car some time ago, he was ready to get a Rolls-Royce or Maybach. Both of the car models were impressive, and they looked cool on the road. A caravan. Mo Qinglong smiled and replied. Caravan? Wang Xian was stupefied for a second. Immediately, he laughed. Caravan is good. It's more comfortable to take a caravan. Mo Qinglong fitted the role of steward quite well. No car was as comfortable as a caravan. Young master, the car is over here. Come with me. Mo Qinglong walked towards the back of the villa where there was an open car park. When Wang Xian came to the car park, he saw the huge caravan parked in the lot. The entire vehicle was painted black. It looked more like a huge truck than a caravan. The entire vehicle was at least 10 meters long. This is the German-made MAN 8x8 cross-country caravan. It's 11 meters long, 5 meters wide and almost 4 meters tall. It weighs 21 tons. After some special modifications to the vehicle, it is explosion-proof. Even level 8 martial artists cannot smash the door open easily. It will not be damaged, even when hit by a rocket. Mo Qinglong introduced the vehicle to Wang Xian with a beaming face. How is it, young master? Do you like it? Impressive. With his eyes brightened up, Wang Xian walked to the front of the vehicle. The entire car was overbearing after the modifications. If this vehicle collides with another vehicle on the road, wouldn't it crush the other car? Wang Xian was dumbfounded as he opened the door. The entire vehicle was like a small house with a bedroom, washroom, living room, and dining area. It even came with a spiral staircase which led to the second floor of the vehicle. The roof of the vehicle was a convertible one. Once the roof was opened, It would turn into something like the Flybridge yacht that has an open living room. An electrical adjustable table was located in the middle. The interior of the entire vehicle was extremely luxurious. Great, not bad. Wang Xian was delighted, as this vehicle was even cooler than those Rolls-Royces and Maybachs. From the outside, the entire vehicle looked just like a pickup. Those who had no knowledge about caravans would not know that this was a luxurious caravan. The car took more than half a month and more than 10 million to complete the customizations and modifications. Mo Qinglong smiled and said, "Young master, sit tight. I'll take you to school." "Okay." Wang Xian nodded and sat on the sofa inside while observing the interior. The vehicle was well equipped with smart appliances such as a TV and computers. When the car hit the road, he could not feel any bumps from the inside. It was very quiet inside as the soundproof walls were quite effective. Gee. Wang Xian giggled as he lay on the sofa with a cup of tea. He sipped the tea with a beaming face. "Young master, the school guard forbade us from entering, as our vehicle is too big." Mo Qinglong's voice was heard after half an hour. Wang Xian was stunned for a second as he was speechless. "I'll get down. You'll wait for me here." "Yes, young master." Wang Xian opened the door and stepped down from the car. A bunch of students were driving sports cars a few days ago. This is even better, it's a pickup. Students are really full of ideas nowadays. As soon as Wang Xian walked out of the car, he heard the muttering of the school guard. Wang Xian smiled and walked into the school as the school guard watched him curiously. Chapter 226, Exchange Student. Wang Xian looked at the time and sent Wang Dahai a message. Soon, he got a reply. "The lesson just started, hurry up and come over." Wang Xian quickened his steps to the classroom after reading the message. When he reached the doorstep of the classroom, he heaved a sigh of relief after realizing that the lecturer wasn't the strict one. Instead, this lecturer, who was teaching information technology engineering, was funny. "I am here to report." Wang Xian shouted at the doorstep when he saw the lecturer didn't notice him. "Whoa, isn't this the famous student, Wang Xian? How many lessons have you skipped? I reckon you will need to retake the module," the middle-aged lecturer said mockingly while looking at Wang Xian. Wang Xian smiled but remained silent. "Come on in. There is still a seat in the first row." "Listen attentively," said the lecturer while pointing to an empty seat in the first row. The lecturer didn't question further. Wang Xian smiled bitterly while walking to the first row. The tables of the classroom were all arranged in rows of 4 and there happened to be an empty seat in the first row of the room. Wang Xian went over to sit down. However, when he looked to the side, he was shocked. He did not know any of his classmates in the first row. There were 2 rather good-looking girls who looked like twins, and a lean and modest guy wearing a pair of glasses. Wang Xian truly couldn't recognize them. There weren't that many people in the previous classes. He looked around and was surprised to find more than 10 unfamiliar faces. While Wang Xian observed his classmates, they were observing him too. The current Wang Xian was well known throughout the entire school. Not only was he chosen by 2 goddesses, but he was also filthy rich. He was the owner of first-grade restaurant and had bought a luxurious car for his sister, which was worth about $3 to $4 million. Furthermore, he possessed formidable individual strength. One could say that he was the most eye-catching student in the University of Rivertown. Even those whom Wang Xian did not know were looking at him. Wang Xian was about 1.8 meters tall and well-dressed. His handsome face also had a unique quality. With his smiling face, his disposition, and his handsome looks, many male celebrities weren't as attractive as him. Being handsome would naturally attract more attention. If he was not in a lesson, there might be some students who would surround him. Wang Xian looked and smiled at the beautiful twins beside him before looking forward. The lesson started and the lecturer was lecturing like usual. With Wang Xian's current memory and comprehension skills, he could easily catch up with the progress simply by flipping through the contents taught previously. Wang Xian came to understand where these new joiners had come from while listening to the lecture. They were exchange students from University of Modu. The discipline of information technology engineering in the University of Rivertown was top-notch in the entire country and attracted various exchange students who would come to the University of Rivertown each year. Similarly, some students from the University of Rivertown would also head to the University of Modu for exchange. Often, the exchange would last 2 semesters, which equated to a year. "Class has ended," announced the lecturer. An hour later, the bell that signaled the end of the lesson rang. The lecturer knocked on the table and left. "Brothers Yan, you are finally here. I thought you had died from a mishap and wouldn't be returning." "Wang Xian, you still know you have to come for lessons? Even the school counselors couldn't reach you. Incredible. You should bring some things to bribe the school counselor, after skipping classes for so many days. Big boss, when are you bringing our class to your restaurant for a meal?" Wang Xian was surrounded by his classmates immediately after the class had ended. Wang Dahai and Zhong Wen even ran over while questioning him. I was busy for the last few weeks and hence I didn't attend the classes," Wang Xian explained with a smile. He continued, "Just wait a few more days. I will definitely bring everyone to my restaurant a few days from now." "We've got to hug his thigh tightly. Wang Xian, you have the thickest thighs in our class," the students joked. The beautiful twins were looking at the crowd around Wang Xian, feeling puzzled. "Hey, can you guys stop pushing around?" A displeased voice sounded at this moment. Instantly, the commotion around Wang Xian died down substantially. "I'm sorry, Hua Ziming. We are sorry, we are sorry." The classmates quickly apologized. Wang Xian looked over to check what was happening. For people were sitting there and every single one of them was wearing a branded outfit and a branded watch. The one that spoke was the guy sitting in the middle. He was good-looking and his hair was slightly long. He looked just like a rich young man often portrayed in dramas. "Dahai, Zhongfeng and Zhongwen, let's go outside," Wang Xian said to Wang Dahai, Zhongfeng and Zhongwen. As they walked out, the trio laughed. The 4 guys sitting at the back stared at Wang Xian as he left. The one guy who was seated closest to the door asked a girl beside him, "Who is that?" "Han Junming, that is Wang Xian. He's the most well-known person in the school currently. He established his own business and is now very rich." "Oh, right, the restaurant where you gave the class a treat a few days back belongs to him." 2 goddesses in school openly declared their love for him. Even the coach of the Taekwondo club, Yang Hu, said he was not his match. "He's incredible," replied the girl with a bright smile. "Oh, is it so? A well-known person?" Han Junming laughed and looked at Hua Ziming. Hua Ziming snorted and showed contempt. "There are lots of unfamiliar faces in class," Wang Xian said to Wang Dahai and the group when they walked out. "Yes, there are quite a number of them. The 4 that came to our class are relatively influential. They were all born with silver spoons in their mouths. A few days back, they brought the whole class to your restaurant and spent more than $500,000 after discount. Furthermore, Hua Ziming defeated Xu Qingcheng with a single strike. He is really strong. Although they just came to our school, they are quite well known. All of them drive supercars and are a little arrogant," replied Zhong Wen enviously. "I think the most incredible exchange student is the girl named Mu Wanwan. You might know about her, but she is simply stunning. She's comparable to Lan Qingyu and Guan Shuqing. More than 10 rich second-generation guys have confessed to her since she came. I heard she's the reason why many other rich second-generation guys from Modu came here for exchange. TSK. Our school is rather famous now," Wang Dahai continued. "Really?" Wang Xian replied with a smile. "The twins in our class are pretty good-looking too. Those twins are a pair of internet celebrities with a few million fans online. They are pretty incredible, but I already have Su Qian. They are destined to not be able to be with me," Wang Dahai exaggerated. He continued, "Oh yes, old Wang. Lan Qingyu has returned to school and she was seen with Guan Shuqing each time. Brother, what's your view on this? Is there something fishy going on?" Is there?" Wang Xian shook his head slightly and said. Wang Xian was stunned as the trio stared at him. Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu clearly had some agreements between them. He was probably going to be penalized if they caught him looking at other girls. Let's go, old Wang. We can continue our chat at the back of the class, Wang Dahai said to the rest as the bell that signaled the start of class rang. Wang Xian nodded and the four of them headed back to class. When they were at the back of the class, Wang Dahai, Zhong Wen and Zhong Feng were surprised to see their seats taken. There were 4 more seats at the back, but these seats were also taken by the beautiful twins. Hey, friends, these are our seats. Our books are still on the table too, said Wang Dahai as he frowned at Hua Ziming, Han Junming and the group. Chapter 227, Donating $50 million to the school, 1. Can you move to the front seats? Han Junming took the books and put them on the side of the table with a beaming face. He then turned to Wang Dahai and spoke with a smile. No, we're not used to sitting in the front seats since we're a bunch of slackers. Zhong Feng smiled. Only the straight-A students would prefer to sit in the front seats. People like them would find it torturous to sit at the front. Besides, if the 4 of them were 4 beauties, probably Wang Dahai, Zhong Feng and the rest would not have any comments. But since they were hunks, all the more they would not agree to it. Ha! Han Junming narrowed his eyes as he stared at the quartet standing at the side. All the students in the class were back. Some of them looked at Wang Dahai, Zhong Feng, and the rest with surprise. Hey guys, since Han Junming said they want to sit here, you should just let them be. They bought everyone lunch a few days ago. Can't you just give in to such a simple request? Before Han Junming and his clique could answer, the beautiful twins at the back spoke. They were playing with their phones as they peered at Wang Xian and his clique through the corners of their eyes. Just because he bought us lunch doesn't mean he can take someone's seat. Zhong Wen frowned as he stared at the beautiful twins. Besides, do you know that we had a 50% discount when we were at the first-grade restaurant? Have they ever given a discount before? Do you think the food you had at that time only cost $500,000? That's right. This is a separate issue. Didn't you hear Guan Shuqing say she will give us a 50% discount? We really have nothing to say if you're taking this matter as your bargaining chip. Wang Dahai shrugged and told the beautiful twins frankly. It's not much. We don't need a discount anyway. Han Junming smiled with no intention of leaving his seat. The remaining 3 people disregarded them completely as they continued playing on their phones with arrogant and aloof looks. Wang Xian found it funny upon seeing their attitudes. Do you think my roommates need your treat when they come to my restaurant? Get out of the way and stop embarrassing yourself. 4 of them knit their eyebrows as they lifted their heads and stared at Wang Xian with dissatisfaction. Their gazes were cold. Chei, such petty men. We will give our seats to you. The beautiful twins sitting at the back were furious as they stood up, glaring at Wang Xian and his clique. This is none of your business. Trying to seek attention? Wang Xian frowned as he looked at the beautiful twins with impatience. The twins revealed a hint of anger on their faces. Enough. Both of you can stop your nagging. That's just annoying. Wang Dahai told the twins off and turned to the 4 guys. Get out of the way. Bam. Han Junming, Hua Ziming, and the other 2 guys stood up slowly. With their chins up, they glared coldly at Wang Dahai, Wang Xian, and the rest. We're starting our class. Why are you guys still standing there? Just then, an old man with a pair of spectacles walked in. He gazed at the back of the class and spoke in a stern voice. Brat, you're arrogant. Just you wait. Han Junming stared at Wang Xian with icy-cold eyes. The well-known figure in school? Hua Ziming gave a vague smile, and the 4 of them walked to the front with an expressionless face. This is the University of Rivertown, said Wang Xian impassively. Back to your seats now. The professor raised his voice and said to everyone in the class. The rest of the classmates looked at Wang Xian first, and then Hua Ziming's clique. What a show-off. Wang Dahai whispered as he looked at him with an unhappy look. Wang Xian smiled and sat down. He did not care about the quartet. If they were to seek trouble, he would teach them a lesson, learn to stay low in Rivertown. The class began, and the 4 people at the back exchanged communication in whispers when the professor was not paying attention to them. Wang Dahai, Zhong Wen, Zhong Feng were hopeless students. They only studied at the last minute when it was time for examinations. Wang Xian used to be all right, but now, he had also caved in. Bring your girlfriends for dinner tonight. I'll go to the counselor's office first thing after school. Wang Xian began to cram after he said this. Old Wang, we'll wait for you at the school entrance. Wang Dahai, Zhong Wen, and Zhong Feng said to Wang Xian when the dismissal bell rang. Okay, I'll look for the counselor now. Wang Xian nodded and went to the teaching building with a beaming face. That fellow is super arrogant. Should we teach him a lesson? Any hidden talents in this small river town are totally incomparable to us. How dare he act snobbish in front of us? I can't stand it. Hihi, we'll have our chance to play with him. Hua Ziming and the rest of the three stood up slowly in the class. The pair of beautiful twins immediately joined in. Hey, get this board up and draw some pictures on it. It must be perfect this time. Yes, then we will take some photos and post in the forum. Let's see if we can get some donations for Wu Huan Huan. The teaching building was located in the center region of the school. Wang Xian went in and saw some students from the student council working on the campus board for the school on his way. He swept a glance at it and pondered. Wang Xian recognized the University of Rivertown as a good school, and the counselors were helpful too. When he was just admitted to the university, his results were excellent. When the counselor found out about his family situation, he even applied a tuition grant for a semester from the school for him. Even though every school had such vacancies for assisting the needy students, Wang Xian was very grateful as a beneficiary. The few $1,000s was a considerable sum of money to him back then. Why don't I repay the school, and, at the same time, settle the problem of skipping school in the future? Wang Xian smiled as he continued on his way to the teaching building. The counselor's office was located on the 3rd floor. Wang Xian went up and knocked on the office door. Come in. A voice was heard from the room. He opened the door and realized that many teachers were having conversations inside the room. With some embarrassment, he noticed that all subject teachers were inside. Mr. Li. Wang Xian looked at his counselor and walked towards him. You're here for classes? Come, let me check how many days of lessons you have, miss. When the counselor saw Wang Xian, he beckoned him over with slight frustration. I couldn't get through to your phone, and you don't reply to my messages. I thought you went to outer space. Wang Xian giggled. Counselor Li was a kind-hearted person in the eyes of every student. He was 30 years old, and he was responsible at his work. Hence, Wang Xian had a good impression of him and did not mind his reprimanding. After all, he was in the wrong. He would not go against the counselor just because he was much more powerful than before. Mr. Li, I've been a little busy recently. My phone has some issues. Hence I didn't receive your call. Chapter 228. Donating $50 million to the school too. Spare me your excuses. This isn't a valid reason for you to skip classes. Look at how many lessons you've missed and the academic credits that will be deducted. If your exam results aren't satisfactory, you will have to repeat the year. Counselor Li reprimanded. He stared at Wang Xian, walked to the side and took out a notebook. Oh, Wang Xian, you've missed 5 of my lessons. I will deduct it from your academic credits. If your credits aren't sufficient, you will have to repeat my classes next year. An old professor turned to look at Wang Xian and said, Young man, you shouldn't be skipping classes and not studying hard. You are only in your 2nd year. Now is the time to be studying and working hard. Wang Xian, you didn't come for any of my political classes this semester. You can't continue like this. A few lecturers that taught Wang Xian commented directly. You little rascal missed over 50 lessons. Under such circumstances, we will have to serve you a warning. The counselor held the notebook and said. It's okay to not serve you a warning. However, you must promise me that you will be present for every lesson from now on. On top of that, you must guarantee that you will not fail any modules, the reputable professor said to Wang Xian. Professor Guo has spoken for you. It's all right for me to not serve the warning, but I'm sure you will have also heard what he said. Can you achieve it? Said Counselor Li. The school's warning would be reflected in the transcript. If one was served a warning, it would have a negative influence on his job prospects in the future. The old professor was also giving Wang Xian a chance. This, Wang Xian hesitated. Having heard what the old professor and Counselor Li had said, he sank into a dilemma. It was hard for him to promise he would not skip class in the future. After seeing Wang Xian's expression, Professor Guo said sternly with a solemn face, "What's the matter? You aren't willing? I will have to give you a warning then. You've got to think it through. Don't be arrogant just because of the little achievement you accomplished. The curriculum of the university course isn't that tight after all." Cough, cough, it might be a little hard for me to not skip classes, Wang Xian replied shyly. Professor Guo raised his volume, and Counselor Li, who was beside him, also stared at Wang Xian. Professor Guo, Counselor Li, I love the University of Rivertown deeply. Furthermore, our teachers have also taught us to be useful people to society. I just saw Wu Huanhuan from our school raising money for her leukemia. Now that I have accomplished something, let me pay for her medical fees, Wang Xian said righteously to Professor Guo and Counselor Li. Medical fees? Professor Guo, Counselor Li, and the rest of the lecturers were taken aback by Wang Xian's response. The medical fees for the treatment of leukemia weren't cheap at all. It could range from $500,000 to a few million. Brat, you must be thinking of using this to convince us to let you pass by the back door. Professor Guo stared at Wang Xian and remarked. Professor Guo, I don't have such intentions. I just feel that this is something I should do. When I first came to the University of Rivertown, I had nothing. My tuition fees for my second semester were only exempted thanks to Counselor Li. Since I have achieved something now, it's only natural for me to pay it forward. Wang Xian smiled and looked at Counselor Li. The sum could reach as high as $1 million, Counselor Li reminded him after pondering for some time. I know, answered Wang Xian with a nod before continuing. Besides that, to thank the school for waiving my fees for a semester, I would like to donate some money to the school. I hope the money can help those poor students in need. Brat, you are a kind guy, Professor Guo remarked as his stern face relaxed a little. As someone who was known throughout the school, the lecturers know a little about Wang Xian. They were glad that Wang Xian knew to repay the gratitude he received. Great. I will report to the principal about your intentions to donate. Tell me a figure. I will inform the principal about it when we have a meeting later in the day. If he knows that you have such intentions, he will be overjoyed, Counselor Li said with a smile. All right, Counselor Li. I will donate $50 million then. Wang Xian nodded. PFF. What? One of the lecturers who was drinking choked on his water and spat. He was completely shocked. Counselor Li and Professor Guo looked at Wang Xian with disbelief and were a little stunned. You, Wang Xian, how much did you say? Counselor Li jumped up directly and asked loudly. $50 million. Together with Wu Huanhuan's medical fees, it would be $51 million. At that time, please help to transfer $1 million to Wu Huanhuan. Wang Xian answered with a bright smile. $50 million. What the? The lecturers around exclaimed. $50 million. This wasn't a small sum. The University of Rivertown was an elite school with many successful alumni who had donated to the school as gratitude. However, a donation of $50 million could easily rank in the top 5 of all time. Wang Xian, are you sure? Counselor Li asked in disbelief. Yeah, I am. Wang Xian replied and nodded. I will give Principal Li a call and get him to come over, Professor Guo said with his eyes wide open. After which, he took out his phone and dialed a number quickly. Wang Xian laughed and added, Counselor Li, there is nothing much I can do. I'd just like to go a little further and thank the school for its teachings. Brat, you sure are successful now. Counselor Li was shocked. I guess I'm doing fine. I have been busy with my business recently and therefore have neglected my studies. Counselor Li and various lecturers, regarding the classes I might miss in the future, do you think you can? Wang Xian smiled and asked. All right. You are thinking of slapping us with money, however, it sure feels great. The school is where we educate our students. As your teachers, we are glad to see what you have done. However, even though you've earned some money, you must not forget about learning. Try your best to come to our lessons. If you have questions, you can come and look for us directly. Professor Guo hung up the phone and said to Wang Xian using an educating tone. Wang Xian smiled, nodded his head and said, yes, Professor Guo is right. I will try my best to not fail any modules. Wait for a little longer. The principal is coming over soon. Oh, our celebrity student, find a place and have a seat. He. Professor Guo said with a smile. Wang Xian nodded and started chatting with a few lecturers. Soon, the principal arrived. With excitement written all over his face, he pushed the door open and asked, "Where is Wang Xian?" "Come over." Wang Xian smiled and stood up. After discussing the donation with the principal, he left the office. This brat has a kind heart. There aren't many students who have such a sense of responsibility nowadays. $50 million isn't a small figure, Professor Guo exclaimed after Wang Xian had left. This student is pretty capable to be able to donate $50 million at such a young age. In addition, he has a caring heart. Counselor Li added proudly. Since the $50 million is donated by Wang Xian, let's set up a department to manage this disbursement for needy students. We shall keep this transparent and can't disappoint our students. I hope our school will nurture more students with such a sense of responsibility. Chapter 229, Bulldozed Through, 1. Our school nurtures talents. Wang Xian may have been wrong in skipping classes, but his sense of responsibility was stronger than anyone else. Let's just close one eye in the future. This is the most positive and encouraging matter at the University of Rivertown. Why not this? We can cut some of the expenses from this year's budget and pay for Wu Huanhuan's medical bills. The $51 million donated by Wang Xian will be used in assisting the needy students. We cannot let the students think that the school is not doing as much as a student, the principal of the University of Rivertown said with excitement. Great. Agree. We can cut some of the welfare from the teachers' day. Some of the old professors and teachers in the office discussed with smiles emerging all over their faces. As part of the education industry, they were all top intellectuals, and hence, they had stronger moral and social responsibilities than the average people. The world is still filled with kind-hearted people. Wang Xian walked out of the office with smiles as he was in a chirpy mood. He could have made a call to the school and gotten them to turn a blind eye on his absence. He could have even graduated easily without going through examinations. But he did not do that. He could simply be cocky or even crush some of the people. However, he still had his own principles for some of the things. Wang Xian did not think he was a good-natured person, but he tried not to be a villain. He would treat others the same as how others would treat him. With a chirpy mood, Wang Xian headed out of the school. He came to the entrance and saw Wang Dahai and the gang waiting for him there. "Have you settled it, old Wang? Did the counselor say anything?" Wang Dahai yelled to Wang Xian as soon as he saw him walking out. "Everything is settled." Wang Xian nodded with a smile. "Let's go and have our dinner. Let's go. Follow the thigh and we get to enjoy it." Zhong Feng and Zhong Wen joked along with their girlfriends. Buzz. Just then, the booming sound of the sports cars was heard at the school entrance. "Wow, it's Hua Ziming and the other three hunks. Lamborghini Aventador, Aston Martin, Vanquish, Ferrari FF, and Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. All the cars cost more than 5 million each. These four people from Modu are filthy rich. They are rich and handsome. How fucking unfair is the world? Wow, so cool. They are cool sports cars. For cars add up to more than 20 million. Hua Ziming and his gang are so cool. How nice it would be I could be one of their girlfriends." All the students exclaimed in or at the entrance. The guys were jealous while the girls looked into the cars with admiration. The four cars lined up in a horizontal row, heading out. The four of them had smirks on their faces. Honk! Suddenly, Hua Ziming, in the center, honked his horn with a taunting look when he saw the people in front of them. The other three at the side looked in his direction. Hua Ziming, with a smile, gestured ahead and asked, "Let's have a game, shall we?" Han Junming and the rest froze for a second and peered ahead. "Sure, let's have a game then," all of them looked at each other and said. 3, 2, 1. Han Junming, whose car was on the exterior side, began his countdown with a taunting look. When he counted to 1, the engines of the 4 sports cars roared. Superior sports cars like these had terrifying speed when their engines powered up. They charged forward as though they were irritable bulls. Vroom. Eek. The vrooming engine sounds and the shrieks from the tires rubbing on the ground cut through the air at the same time. Wang Xian and his clique ahead were slightly stunned when they heard the car engines behind them. Ah! When the girlfriends of Zhong Wen, Wang Dahai, and Zhong Wen saw the 4 sports cars charging at them at high speed, they screamed in horror. Wang Dahai and the rest had drastic changes in their expressions. Their faces paled instantly. However, 4 of the sports cars swerved and made a drift around them. Wang Xian and the rest were surrounded by the cool-looking drifts. Waves of air hit Wang Xian and the group, bringing about dust in the air. 4 supreme sports cars were drifting uniformly together. Such skills and visual impacts struck awe to everyone. FML, that's so cool. Drifts. They look stunning when 4 cars drift together. Not even a racer has such skills. Cool, so freaking cool. The surrounding students and onlookers watched with their mouths open as the 4 sports cars did their drifts. Thrills were climbing all over their faces. Fuck you. Wang Dahai, who was in the center, hugged Su Qian and scolded furiously. His face was a little pale. Zhong Wen, Zhong Feng, and their girlfriends were looking bad. When the cars charged and drifted around them, they got the shock of their lives. Wang Xian, who was standing in the center of the group, narrowed his eyes as his expression sank. Vroom. After making 4 to 5 rounds of drifts, the 4 sports cars lined up in a row again. 4 faces appeared before Wang Xian and his clique. Wow, that's so cool. Junming, you're amazing. A thrilled voice was heard from the sports car. Wang Dahai and the rest opened their eyes and looked over with awful expressions. Hua Ziming, Han Junming and the rest were driving a sports car individually while the beautiful twins were sitting in Han Junming and another guy's car respectively. At this time, the twins were shouting excitedly as they threw a glance at Wang Xian and the rest with mocking expressions. Hee hee, brat. This is River Town. But, so what? Han Junming opened the roof of the car. With a pair of sunglasses, he placed his arm on the car door. He looked provocative as he asked Wang Xian. Hey, I don't care where this place is, but you better watch yourself. Otherwise, the game is on. How do you find our driving skills? Want us to do it again? Another 2 guys looked at them with smiling faces. Don't ever provoke us again. You guys can't bear the consequences after that. Hua Ziming, in the middle, lifted his chin as he taunted Wang Xian and his clique disdainfully. Fuck you. Upon hearing the insults, Zhong Feng, Zhong Wen, and Wang Dahai were furious. Wang Dahai, who was as impatient as always, almost wanted to charge at them. Dahai, no. We can't afford to mess with them. Su Qian quickly held him back. Forget it, let's ignore them. Zhong Wen and Zhong Feng's girlfriends were all pale. None of them look simple. Let's not offend them. Each one of them was driving a sports car that cost more than 5 million. They could not afford to mess around with people who could afford to drive cars like this. In their opinion, even Wang Xian was far from them. Trash, don't be too cocky next time. The beautiful twins showed their middle fingers in the sports cars with contempt. Chapter 230, bulldozed through, 2. Oh, freak. How did that group offend Hua Ziming and his friends? That's right, how did they offend Hua Ziming and his friends? They are really unlucky. I heard that Hua Ziming and his other 3 friends are really fierce. Hua Ziming, Han Junming and the other 2 guys come from very strong families. They are also formidable themselves. The drift just now was simply stunning. They are just humiliating them. Hey, isn't that Wang Xian? Yeah. That's Wang Xian, the most well-known person in our school. He went missing for some time. How did he offend Hua Ziming and his friends? The surrounding students conversed and gathered over inquisitively. It really is Wang Xian. He is easily one of the more incredible students in the school and is earning big bucks at such a young age. However, he's still not comparable with Hua Ziming, Han Junming and his group of friends. Wang Xian bought a Bentley worth $3 to $4 million for his sister and is also powerful. However, it is clear that Han Junming and his group of friends are more incredible. They each own a supercar that is worth at least $5 million. I heard their families are all filthy rich with assets worth over hundreds of trillions. They are also influential in Modu, the place where the rich gather. The crowd discussed softly. Although Wang Xian was great and owned the first-grade restaurant, a restaurant known throughout the country, he was still a far cry from these people with filthy rich parents. Just take a look at the supercars they are driving. Every single one of them cost more than $5 million. The crowd in the school didn't think that Wang Xian would be as rich and influential as them. Furthermore, Hua Ziming and the group were powerful. They had challenged Xu Qingcheng a while back and defeated him with a single move. This was something that even Coach Yang Hu couldn't do. Although the four of them were exchange students who had just come to the University of Rivertown, their fame and strength had seemingly edged past Wang Xian's. Wang Xian walked towards the supercar with a cold expression amidst the arrogant looks of the group. The twins even showed him their middle fingers with contempt. "Old Wang, let it go. Let's not be calculative with them." Wang Dahai stepped forward and spoke to Wang Xian as he saw Wang Xian walking over. "Yes, old Wang. Let's not be calculative with them. Damn it. They are just exchange students here and yet they are already so arrogant." Zhong Feng and Zhong Wen walked over and tried to convince Wang Xian while holding back their anger. Wang Xian waved his hand at them and walked to the supercar closest to him. He stepped on the bonnet with his right foot. "The four of you sure are arrogant," Wang Xian remarked coldly. "Get your foot off." Han Junming replied coldly when he saw Wang Xian stepping on his supercar. "Put it down. You can't afford to pay for this car," the beautiful twins said to Wang Xian with contempt. Bam bam. Wang Xian smiled coldly and stepped a few times on it. He looked at them and warned, "Let me tell you this again. You are in Rivertown right now. If you want to play, I'll play with you. Driving skills? Let me show you what driving skills are. And I would love to see if the outcome is something I can endure." Wang Xian answered coldly in response to what the four of them had said to him. "Fuck, I'm asking you to lift your damn feet. Can't you hear me?" Han Junming shouted. Not only did Wang Xian ignore him, but Wang Xian also stepped a few more times on the bonnet. Han Junming got out of the car furiously. Following which, the other three also alighted. Damn it. Wang Xian is trying to go head-to-head with Hua Ziming, Han Junming and their friend. He is not being rational. It is clear that Wang Xian couldn't handle all four of them at the same time. Will a fight start between them? The crowd was shocked by the development of events and started whispering. "Put your foot down. Can't you hear me?" Han Junming stared harshly at Wang Xian while Hua Ziming and the other two guys walked over with a gloomy expression. Wang Xian smiled and replied, "Since you want to play, I'll play along with you." He moved his feet away as he finished his line before walking to the side of the car. "Rascal, I'm warning you. Don't test my patience," Han Junming said coldly to Wang Xian while pointing at him. "Interesting. No one dares to talk to me like this in Rivertown," Wang Xian remarked. He looked back and waved his hand slightly. "The driving skills you have shown me aren't impressive at all. Let me show you something fancier." Vroom vroom. As Wang Xian spoke, the sound of the engine revving roared loudly from a short distance away. The revving of the engine resembled that of the roar of a beast. To the astonishment of the crowd, a huge black car charged towards them as the crowd scampered in a hurry to get out of the way. "Oh fuck, is that a lorry? Man, that's a caravan. That's a caravan. What a domineering car. It looks just like a military vehicle." The crowd looked towards the black monster in shock as it charged ahead. It was closed to 4 meters tall and over 10 meters in length. Its tire alone was already half the height of a person. MAN, as its name would suggest, is a brand of cross-country caravan. It was incomparably domineering. The domineering car that resembled a huge beast charged forward directly. "This is... Oh my god. What is that big car trying to do?" Exclamations from the crowd erupted. When Han Junming, Hua Ziming and their friends saw the huge car charging towards them, their expressions changed abruptly. Read comics on our web novel. Live. Boom. To the disbelief of everyone, the domineering caravan charged directly towards the 4 supercars. The huge tires were almost as tall as the supercars. To the astonishment of the crowd, it bulldozed through. A premium cross-country caravan could easily manage a 40-degree slope. A supercar which had a low body would seem miniature in front of it. The gigantic caravan weighed over 20 tons. It is easy to imagine the outcome if it rammed over a supercar that weighed just over a ton. It was just like what everyone had witnessed. To everyone's amazement, the first supercar collapsed the moment the giant caravan went over it. When the rear wheels rolled over, the supercar sank and almost hit the ground. One should note that the giant caravan had 8 wheels. The supercar was totally deformed and white smoke rose from it. Soon, the second supercar followed the fate of the first. Lamborghini Aventador, Aston Martin Vanquish, Ferrari FF, Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. One after another, they were flattened. The cracking sounds were eerily sharp in the silent crowd. This made the crowd's breathing quicken a little. Bam! When the black giant caravan crushed the last supercar, it came to an abrupt and heavy stop. Just like how beasts stopped after besieging a city. Crack, crack. The doors to the black giant caravan opened. From it, a middle-aged man walked down with a bright smile. He looked at Wang Xian and asked, "Young master, how are my driving skills?" As he spoke, he looked at the 4 cars as though he was enjoying his masterpieces. "I'll leave the judging to the 4 of them," Wang Xian replied happily. Chapter 231, Show me what you've got for you to be cocky in Rivertown. Boom. This. Gosh. Shocking. Every moment unfolding before them struck horror into everyone. 4 supersports cars became 4 piles of useless metal now. The cars were in a disastrous state and were almost scraps. Everyone found it incredible. "These are sports cars worth more than $20 million, a guy could not help but exclaim. Each of these 4 sports cars was like a dream car to them. Yet, they turned to scraps of iron before them. The exclamations brought the dumbfounded quartet to their senses. All their expressions recovered from their shock and turned extremely awful and hideous as they looked at Wang Xian. "You are asking for death." Words came out as a soft growl from Hua Ziming's mouth as he glared at Wang Xian with a pair of murderous eyes. "How dare you crush our cars?" The other 3 held their fists tightly as they fixed their bloodthirsty eyes on Wang Xian. "Aren't you giving any comment? How are my driving skills?" Mo Qinglong was the one who drove. He looked at Hua Ziming and the rest with a taunting look as he walked over. "You're fucking digging your own graves." Han Junming gave Mo Qinglong a death stare as he said fiercely. "Hee hee." Wang Xian looked at them and revealed a cold smile. "This is Rivertown. Show me what you've got for you to be cocky here. I'll be right here waiting for you." Gosh, this is damn awesome. He's too domineering. He just bulldozed with his car and crushed the 4 supersports cars. That's just overbearing. Scary. He dared to turn 4 supersports cars that are worth $20 million into something like this. Is this Wang Xian? He's more domineering than what we imagined. Such an imposing demeanor. No wonder the 2 goddesses from our school took a fancy of him. Impressive. I'm convinced by his overbearing demeanor. This is too shocking. Senior Wang Xian is so cool, so domineering. Show me what you've got for you to be cocky here. I'll be right here waiting for you. Senior Wang Xian sounded so cocky, but I like it. I worship him. Wang Xian has nothing to fear. He just crashed those sports cars that are worth $20 million, just like toys. The surrounding crowd exploded into commotions. They pointed and commented excitingly. All of them were impressed by Wang Xian, who was standing at the center impassively. Given his guts, and the things he did and said, he was invincible. Damn, I feel so good now. How dare the outsiders play punks at our place? They drove their sports cars everywhere as if they were afraid that no one knows they are rich. That's right. Well done. I hope Junior Wang Xian can totally suppress them. Some of the guys felt good about it. They were already unhappy with the quartet for being flashy and arrogant. Looks like we can have a good game. I hope you are ready to bear the consequences for being arrogant. Hua Ziming clenched his fists tightly. He took out his phone slowly with an icy cold face. If you can't compensate us for our car repair fees by tenfold, I'll make sure you get it from me. Han Junming squinted his eyes. With a blackened face, he took out his phone too. Half an hour. I'll just wait for half an hour, Wang Xian said sarcastically when he saw them taking out their phones. You'll regret it soon, a guy swept an angry glance at Wang Xian and said coldly. The surrounding spectators frowned when they saw Hua Ziming and Han Junming take out their phones. Hua Ziming and the rest had strong backings. Senior Wang Xian seems confident. I don't think he's afraid of them. If it was just one or two of them, there'd be nothing to fear. But it is hard to say when four of them come together. Nonetheless, I'm still supporting Senior Wang Xian. As the surrounding people were commenting, more and more people crowded over and joined in on the discussion with disbelief. Wanwan, it's Hua Ziming, Han Junming, and his clique. They seem to have some conflicts with that Wang Xian. Their sports cars were rolled over by that large cross-country caravan. Oh, really? Hua Ziming and his clique are really high profile. The four of them just want to act haughty in Rivertown. Would they dare to be this arrogant back in Modu? But given their strength, no one is their match in Rivertown. That Wang Xian was courting his own doom. That's right. Apart from a miracle doctor in Rivertown, the rest of the people and families are nothing to them. Hehe, I bet they have nothing to do to show off their strength in this small place. 5 people were letting out soft laughter as they gazed at the crowd. Out of the 5 people, there was a pretty girl with makeup and tight-fitting clothes that exhibited her curvy figure altogether. She was a little haughty as she overlooked the spot before her with faint disdain. Quick, young Master Ren ordered us to send these 4 supersports cars for repairs. Director Qin, is it a car accident? 4 supersports cars were hit. I think so. The one who called young Master Ren has strong power. Just get over here now. In less than 20 minutes, several trailers parked on the side. About 8 men came down from the cars and headed towards the crowd. Gosh, these 4 cars are in bad shape. Looks like they were rolled over by that huge pickup. The repair cost would be at least a few $1,000,000. Yes, what a disaster. Why didn't they call the insurance company to settle this? Director Qin squeezed himself into the crowd, and he was surprised when he saw the 4 sports cars. Each of them cost $5 million and above. No wonder they called young Master Ren and Director Qin to rush down and settle this. Who is young Master Luo? Director Qin asked carefully as he stared at the group. You were the one sent by Ren Anji? Tow the 4 sports cars away and quote me a price for the repair fees. One of them from the quartet looked at Director Qin with cold eyes as he spoke immediately. Yes, young Master Luo. Got it. Director Qin quickly nodded. Young Master Ren had reminded him to treat them respectfully. Hence, they must be some big shots. What if you can't afford the repair fees by tenfold? Haha. Young Master Luo glared at Wang Xian coldly. He asked as he narrowed his murderous eyes. Director Qin was curious as he traced the direction young Master Luo was looking at. Ha! All of a sudden, Director Qin froze and his body stiffened with shock flashing in his eyes. With a stiff neck, he turned around and saw the black, gigantic pickup not far away. He swallowed his saliva. Without any hesitation, Director Qin walked to Wang Xian and put on a sincere and pleased smile. Young Master Wang, how do you find the modified Man 8x8 cross-country caravan from Germany? It's absolutely domineering. Look at how it crushes 4 supercars easily. Young Master Wang, let me send someone over to check if there are any scratches. Chapter 232, Your son has gotten into trouble. Young Master Wang, how do you feel about the modified Man 8x8 cross-country caravan from Germany? It's absolutely domineering. Look at how it crushes 4 supercars easily. Young Master Wang, let me send someone over to see if anything is scratched. Director Qin's voice pierced the silence and shocked everyone in the vicinity. What's the situation now? What is happening? Hadn't Director Qin still talked deferentially to Luo Jiu about the cars a while ago? Why did he say such things now? Moreover, why is he acting so deferentially toward Wang Xian? Director Qin's puzzling actions shocked everyone in the vicinity. Luo Jiyu, who stood there with his head lifted up high and had demanded 10 times compensation a while ago, was stunned. Seeing Director Qin asking 2 maintenance workers to check the caravan that just rammed over their cars, Luo Jiyu's expression turned gloomy. "Asshole, what are you doing? What did Ren Anji, that idiot, ask you to do here?" Luo Jiyu stared harshly at Director Qin and shouted loudly. "I naturally know what I'm supposed to do here. Do I need you to remind me?" When Director Qin heard Luo Jiyu, he lifted his chest and retorted with contempt. He didn't have the same respectful attitude towards Luo Jiyu at all. The look in his eyes was full of taunts. Young Master Ren had instructed him here to handle this matter. At the same time, young Master Ren emphasized that he had to be respectful. However, the moment he saw Wang Xian and the modified cross-country caravan at the side, he knew what he should be doing instead. As a confidant to young Master Ren, he knew a lot of things. This included how young Master Ren had to be respectful to young Master Wang as though young Master Wang was his grandparent. This included how the father of young Master Ren, who was also the Ren family head, had to be respectful when dealing with Wang Xian. This included the fact that Wang Xian, who was a devil-like existence in his eyes, had annihilated the Yang family and Liu family. Within the circle of the most influential and wealthy people in Rivertown, all of them knew that you could offend anyone in Rivertown, but not young Master Wang, who was also known as Miracle Dr. Wang. He was truly the most horrifying person in Rivertown. Today, Director Qin believed that even if young Master Ren had come personally, he would probably choose to offend Luo Jiyu instead. In fact, young Master Ren might just pick a fight with him. If young Master Ren knew of his actions, not only would young Master Ren not be angry, but he would also have a better appraisal of him. At the thought of this, a faint smile appeared on the face of Director Qin. He glanced at the 4 supercars that had been crushed, smiled lightly and remarked, "It's your honor to have young Master Wang crush your cars." "You." Luo Jiyu was shivering a little from anger. He stared coldly at Director Qin and clenched his fist tightly. What's the situation now? I'm totally confused. What is happening? Isn't that Director Qin someone Luo Jiyu had called over? That middle-aged man addressed Wang Xian as young Master Wang. That's not a common address nowadays. The surrounding crowd was shocked and confused by the development as they whispered among themselves. Screech, screech, screech. At this moment, several luxurious cars drove towards the school and stopped by the side. The crowd was surprised and immediately knew that those were people who Aziming and his friends had summoned over. There are 10 Benzes. Moreover, their car plate numbers are in running order. Who are they? When the crowd saw the 10 black Benzes lining up neatly, their minds were blown away. Look, there are more at the back. At this moment, a teenager couldn't help but exclaim. He was pointing to the back as he shouted. Land Rovers. There are 8 Land Rovers. Oh my God. They are of the same model. Those are cars from the Enterprise Alliance Security Group. Oh my God. Enterprise Alliance Security Group is the largest security company in Rivertown. It is said that everyone in it is an expert. Cars drove over and stopped one after another. There were a total of 30 to 40 cars. Someone is alighting. The crowd looked in shock at the people who were alighting from the cars. They were all young men wearing black attire. At the very front, the driver, who was wearing a pair of white gloves, opened the door of the car in a hurry. From the car, an old man with a walking stick alighted. From him, one could feel the vibes of a really successful man. Chen Hu. That old man resembles Chen Hu, someone from the crowd exclaimed loudly in disbelief. Who is Chen Hu? Chen Hu is the director of the East City Group. He's a billionaire in Rivertown. Many people have to address him as Master Hu when they see him. A billionaire? Wow, there are over 20 young men in suits following behind Chen Hu. This lineup is so stunning. People are alighting from the Land Rovers too. Who are they? Oh my God. The director of Enterprise Alliance Security Group has come personally. Oh my God. He has actually come personally. There are so many people. Hua Ziming, Han Junming and their friends only made a call and yet so many people have come. Moreover, They are all influential figures in Rivertown. This. Every single person in the crowd looked on in disbelief at the group of people who had just arrived. At the very front were 3 people. They were the director of East City Group, the director of Enterprise Alliance Security Group, and a middle-aged man giving off strong vibes. At this moment, the crowd looked to Wang Xian before looking at Hua Ziming, Han Junming, and their friends. Hee. They have all arrived. I hope you will be able to take the consequences. Han Junming looked at the group approaching them. His lips curved into a smile as he stared coldly at Wang Xian. We are starting the game now. I hope you could entertain us. Hua Ziming stretched his neck a little as he revealed a cold smirk. When the crowd saw the approaching group of people, they couldn't help but gasp. It's over, it's over. Senior Wang Xian is over. Damn it. I had not expected Hua Ziming and Han Junming to be so incredible. They are able to call upon these influential figures with a single call. Uncle Hu. Chen Hu. Ah Wu. Hua Ziming, Han Junming, and their friends smirked and greeted the approaching group of people. Who dares to bully Ziming? Let Uncle Hu teach him a lesson. There's no one to be afraid of in Rivertown. Young Master Han, who's the one who doesn't understand his position? Leave him to me. Young Master Ju, I hope I'm not late. The middle-aged man, director of East City Group and director of Enterprise Alliance Security Group, met the greetings from Hua Ziming and his friends with radiant smiles. SSS. This. When the crowd heard how the 3 leaders addressed Hua Ziming and his friends, they gasped. They did not know about the middle-aged man, but Chen, who was the director of a large group and had assets of over $1 billion. The other man was also the director of a strong group. Yet, they were so deferential in front of them. Have they all arrived? Are there more? Wang Xian looked at the 3 men that had walked over with dozens of subordinates. He gave a gentle smile. Death is knocking at your door and yet you acting so carkily, the beautiful twins remarked coldly. Her. That is. However, when Hu Fei, Chen Hu, and Gong Wu saw Wang Xian, their bodies froze. Their stiff bodies shivered a little as they stopped in their tracks. At the same time, the 3 of them took out their phones and made a call. Brother Hua, your son has gotten into trouble. Director Han, your son has gotten into trouble. Second Master Ju, your son has gotten into trouble. Chapter 233, known throughout the University of Rivertown. Your son has gotten into trouble. 3 of them said the same thing at the same time. What's going on? This. Everyone was stunned when they saw 3 well-known figures pulling out their phones for calls. Hua Ziming, Han Junming, and the rest froze for a moment as a bad feeling suddenly rose in their hearts when they heard their conversations. Uncle Hu. Hua Ziming's expression sank gradually as he called out to Hu Fei. Hu Fei peered at Hua Ziming through the corner of his eyes and ignored him. After he spoke to the person on the phone, he quickly walked towards Wang Xian. Young Master Wang, I didn't know that one of my big brother's sons had offended you. He said he will leave it to you as long as his son's life is spared. Young Master Wang, Director Han wants me to apologize to you. His son, Han Junming, is at your disposal. Young Master Wang, Second Master Ju hopes you can spare his useless son's life. After Hu Fei went over, Chen Long and Gong Wu walked to Wang Xian immediately and spoke respectfully. Gosh, what's this situation now? God damn it. This. None of the surrounding spectators knew what to say as the event unfolded before them. Their shock was beyond words as they lacked the vocabulary to describe it. Hua Ziming, Han Junming, and the rest had called a group of people here. The staff member from the 4S car service who had just arrived ignored them as soon as he saw Wang Xian. He even mocked them. Another 3 big shots arrived, and they called their parents to tell them their sons had gotten themselves into trouble. Subsequently, the 3 big shots walked to Wang Xian and addressed him as young Master Wang with respect. The 3 big shots even told Wang Xian that he could do whatever he liked as long as he spared their lives. Oh gosh. Hua Ziming, Han Junming, and the rest parted their lips slightly, as they could not help but tremble for a moment. They gazed at Hu Fei, Chen Long and Gong Wu in disbelief. Uncle Hu. Hua Ziming opened his mouth and called out once again. Shut up. Get over here now and make your apology. Your dad told me to break your legs if you can't settle this today. Hu Fei yelled at Hua Ziming, if you can make it back home, you'll be punished by the house rules. What? Hua Ziming trembled with a stupefied expression and fear flashed in his eyes. If you can make it back home. If you can make it back home, what if he couldn't? The answer was clear. Get over and apologize now. Hu Fei shouted at him once again with a stern face. Hua Ziming was filled with trepidation. Forget it. Just giving them some punishment will do. And I don't want to see them in River Town. Wang Xian looked at the four of them disdainfully before he spoke to Hu Fei, Chen Long and Gong Wu. Thank you, young Master Wang. Their families will definitely give you a satisfactory answer. The three of them hurriedly replied. Wang Xian waved a dismissive hand and said to Wang Dahai and the rest, who were dumbfounded, let's go for our dinner. Don't let some trash spoil our mood. Let's go. Wang Dahai and the rest stared with their wide and round eyes before they followed Wang Xian to the first-grade restaurant. You guys are asking for trouble. Of all the people in River Town, why did you have to provoke young Master Wang? Hu Fei looked at the quartet and shook his head gently. He looked at the figure who had just left with fear and respect. Young Master Han, go back to Modu now and never come back to River Town again. At the same time, your family needs to give a satisfactory answer to young Master Wang. Chen Long looked at Han Junming and said solemnly, you guys are lucky today. Young Master Wang gave us some face. Han Junming, Hua Ziming and the rest were still in a daze as they stood there with ashen faces. At this time, all their phones rang. When they saw calls from the leaders of their families, their faces got as white as sheets. What kind of people were they messing with? How formidable is Senior Wang Xian? He's simply too awesome. Is this Wang Xian's strength? Hua Ziming and Han Junming were already so impressive. But now, their families are begging him to spare their sons' lives. My idol. Senior Wang Xian is my idol. I heard he was penniless when he was in year 1. Yet he has climbed to such a domineering position within a year. Hundreds of people broke into a commotion when Han Junming and Hua Ziming got into the cars like some walking zombies after Wang Xian disappeared. All of them were discussing in shock. Today, Wang Xian had exhibited an appalling and domineering strength. If Wang Xian was just a well-known figure in the school in the past, he would become the legendary figure of the University of Rivertown from today onwards. Brother Xian, you'll be our leader from now on. Wang Dahai called out to Wang Xian with admiration in one of the rooms in first-grade restaurant. Brother Xian, you're so awesome and cool. I'd want to marry you if I was a girl. Get lost. Wang Xian pushed Wang Dahai away out of disgust. Xiao Yu and the rest are here. You guys just go over there and sit. Wang Dahai, Zhong Wen, and Zhong Feng were talking excitedly after Wang Xian went out. Shu Qing, Qing Yu. Wang Xian walked out and saw Xiao Yu and Elder Fang. His eyes swept across Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu as he called out with a smile. Apparently, he'd run away from some problems perfectly during a month of retreat. He felt the retreat was worth it. Looks like someone took good care of you. Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu sized him up with their eyes as they implied. Thanks to both of you for taking care of me during my retreat. You have worked hard. Let's have dinner. Wang Xian feigned ignorance as he spoke to Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu with sincerity. I'm glad you know it. Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu revealed smiles on their faces and headed to the private room. Wang Xian immediately followed behind them. He saw Xiao Yu giving him a thumbs up with admiration. Wang Xian patted his chest proudly, looking impressed with himself. When Wang Dahai and the guys saw Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu entering the private room at the same time, they were taken aback. During dinner, all of them dropped their jaws when Wang Xian was taking food for Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu eagerly. This situation. Gosh. Brother Xian, I'm impressed. I'm totally impressed. You're simply awesome. When the four of them came to the washroom, Wang Dahai, Zhong Wen, and Zhong Feng immediately spoke to Wang Xian with great admiration. That's nothing. Wang Xian chuckled with some haughtiness. Let me check how impressive you are. Wang Dahai and the guys stretched their necks and checked out in between Wang Xian's legs. Gosh, formidable. Invincible. Chapter 234, Sacred Sect Flame Palace. Good morning, Senior Wang Xian. Good morning, Wang Xian. Good morning, handsome. When Wang Xian and Xiao Yu arrived at school the second morning, they were greeted by the students on the way enthusiastically. Morning. Wang Xian nodded and replied with a smile. Brother, your actions have truly shocked the entire school. I had never expected you to accomplish something so shocking. That's totally incredible. Seeing students from the school greeting Wang Xian one after another, Xiao Yu looked at her brother with admiration. I am still just your brother, Wang Xian joked. He smiled and added, all right, I'm going to my classroom now. Go ahead. Xiao Yu replied, and the two went their separate ways. Good morning, Wang Xian. Good morning, brother Xian. When Wang Xian arrived at the classroom, everyone's attention was focused on him. A flicker of surprise flashed across their eyes and they quickly greeted him with a smile. Morning. Wang Xian nodded and replied with a smile. Wang Xian, you have really hidden what you are capable of too well. The incident that happened yesterday in the afternoon has erupted in the school forum. Your actions are really too domineering. You are my idol. I had never expected you to have such abilities. Some of the classmates with whom Wang Xian was closer with joked as they tried to get on the good books of Wang Xian. Wang Xian smiled and chatted with them for a while. Soon, the school bell rang. However, during the short intervals between the lessons in the morning, an announcement was made through the school's broadcasting system. Year 2 student, Wang Xian, has donated $50 million to help students in need. The school will be setting up a department to help needy students financially. When the announcement was made, the school erupted with raucous discussions. Wang Xian, it's Wang Xian again. Together with the details of the incident the day before that were being spread at a crazy speed, Wang Xian was now known by everyone in the University of Rivertown. Thank you, Wang Xian, for the donation to the school. Thank you, Wang Xian, for helping out students in need. The counselor approached me today and informed me that Wang Xian had donated a sum to the school to set up a fund that helps needy students. The school has now exempted my tuition fees for a year. I am deeply grateful to Wang Xian. Positive energy. Wang Xian donated $50 million, and this could help a lot of people. Thank you, Wang Xian. Wang Xian is really noble to donate $50 million to help the needy student. Thank you, Wang Xian. The school also posted the announcement on its official school website. At the same time, they publicized the assistance plan. In the comment section, countless students were discussing the donation. Most of them were thanking Wang Xian for his donation. In the end, the 4 words of thank you, Wang Xian, were upvoted the most, and soon reached over 10,000. After seeing the messages on the school forum and hearing the broadcast in school, Wang Xian smiled and left for the Divine Dragon Medical Hall in a joyous mood. There were only 2 classes in the morning. After his classes, it was only 10 in the morning. When he reached the doorstep of the medical hall, Sun Lingxiu, who was wearing white, was already standing there. She stood there quietly and wore a gentle smile on her face. This attracted the attention of many passers-by. Xiao Xian. When Sun Lingxiu saw Wang Xian walking towards her, she walked forward and welcomed him with a beautiful smile. Have you been waiting? Asked Wang Xian as he opened the doors to the Divine Dragon Medical Hall. Nope, I've just arrived, answered Sun Lingxiu. When Sun Lingxiu entered the medical hall, she looked around attentively. Xiao Xian, you might not know about this, but when I sent patients here for treatment in the past, I imagined becoming a miracle doctor as incredible as you. I would think about how great it would be if I could cure them of their illnesses. Although I'm not as great as you are at this moment, I'm at least able to treat patients here. She spoke happily, as this was something she had been hoping for ages. I'll leave this medical hall to you from now on. I won't meddle with the business anymore. Wang Xian commented. Rest assured. Now that you have left this to me, you will be my boss from now onwards. I'll be earning money for you. Sun Lingxiu smiled as she went to boil some water. I've brought you here today to take a look first. You can start seeing patients starting tomorrow. I might just stay around here when I have nothing to do. Wang Xian nodded his head and said. All right, Xiao Xian. However, Can I change the rules of the Divine Dragon Medical Hall? Sun Lingxiu asked. Read more chapter on novel full. Sun Lingxiu made Wang Xian a cup of tea with the boiled water and brought it to him. The rules? Just change them as you wish. I won't be getting involved with the business here in the future after all. Oh yes. It would be best if we could collect spiritual stones from treatments to ancient martial artist. Wang Xian nodded and replied in a nonchalant tone. Yes, Boss Xiao Xian, I'll just follow your instructions, answered Sun Lingxiu with a radiant smile as she lifted the cup of tea and placed it in front of Wang Xian with both hands. Wang Xian was not used to her behaving this way. This reminded him of the nurse and maid cosplay. This is the place. Divine Dragon Medical Hall that is helmed by the 8th-ranked Miracle Doctor on the Miracle Doctor's chart. When Wang Xian and Sun Lingxiu were chatting, an old man and a young man arrived by the doorstep and commented after taking a look at the signboard. Master, will he agree to join our Flame Palace? The young man asked curiously, looking into the medical hall. Rest assured, he will agree, the old man said with confidence. Our Flame Palace is a newly crowned sacred sect and we are at the stage where we are recruiting various experts. This is also the best time for the experts to join us. Miracle Dr. Wang is a factionless doctor. Although he is ranked 8th on the Miracle Doctor's chart, he is still a factionless doctor after all. He now has a chance to join a sacred sect and become our personal miracle doctor within the sect. Tell me, will he reject and let this opportunity slip? He will definitely agree to join. This is a chance encounter for him and the best opportunity available. He wouldn't get the same treatment and status that Flame Palace is offering if he chooses to join another sacred sect, said the old man confidently as he walked in with his head lifted up high. The young man nodded in agreement and followed behind. Hey there, you guys are. Sun Lingxiu was tidying up things in the medical hall when the old and young man entered. She looked at them and asked them this, feeling a little baffled about their purpose. Wow, she's so beautiful, the young man exclaimed when he saw Sun Xiuling. The old man smiled and looked at his disciple before turning his attention to Wang Xian, who was resting on the reclining chair, and asking, You must be Miracle Dr. Wang. Huh? Wang Xian lifted his head and saw the old and young man. Yes, I am. Do you have something for me? Miracle Dr. Wang is indeed as young as rumored. I am an elder of the sacred sect, Flame Palace. I would like to invite Miracle Dr. Wang to join our sacred sect as our personal miracle doctor, said the old man heartily. Sacred sect, Flame Palace? Wang Xian was baffled. Is there a Flame Palace among sacred sects? The old man was shocked to hear Wang Xian's reply and displeasure flashed in his eyes. Although Flame Palace had just become a sacred sect, it was already known throughout the world. Flame Palace has just become a sacred sect. We sincerely hope Miracle Dr. Wang can join us. The old man repeated his invitation. I'm sorry. I have no intention to join any forces. Chapter 235, A Slave. I'm sorry. I have no intention to join any forces. When Wang Xian declared his stand indifferently on his chair, the old and young men froze immediately. The old man was slightly embarrassed when he saw Wang Xian sipping his tea in a relaxed and casual manner. Wang Xian was looking calm as he dismissed them as someone unimportant. Wang Xian did not take sacred sects seriously at all. Miracle Dr. Wang, the Flame Palace was promoted to a sacred sect. If you can join us, you'll be one of our members, and we'll protect you. The old man continued making his point to Wang Xian with a sunken expression. I'm sorry. Wang Xian sat up and put his tea aside. He looked at the old man and repeated himself again, I don't have the intention to join any forces, and I may not be practicing medicine anymore. It's your honor that we invited you to join the sacred sects. How dare a factionless doctor treat us rudely, said the young man coldly. The young man spotted Wang Xian's lukewarm expression, and the fact that Wang Xian disregarded them totally irritated the young man who had been received with flatteries recently. Wang Xian was stunned and surprised. He looked at the two haughty people and found them funny. So what if you are from the sacred sects? Are you forcing me to join against my will? Temph, since Miracle Dr. Wang is unwilling to join us, how can we force you to do so? The Flame Palace will be recruiting heroes and disciples at Wudwan Mountain 2 days from now. I hope to see you there, the old man said coldly. With a palm move, a fiery red invitation card appeared in his hand. Shoo! He swung his palm gently, and the invitation card was inserted into the wall behind Wang Xian like a hidden weapon. It was not hard to imagine the strength he possessed for pushing a paper invitation into the wall. The old man got up and walked out. When he was approaching the door, he paused and said sternly, "A factionless doctor who does not join any force is unsafe." The old man left immediately upon completing his sentence. The young man glowered at Wang Xian before he glanced at Sun Lingxiu with passion flashing in his eyes. He. Wang Xian put on a smiling face as the old man left. He reached out his hand, and the invitation card embedded in the wall flew to his hand. If that old man saw this just now, he would be appalled. Wang Xian flipped the fiery red invitation card and saw prominent characters printed on it. Pilgrimage, Sacred Sect, Flame Palace. Pilgrimage? Wang Xian chuckled. Sects that could become one of the sacred sects were domineering existences. They must have more than 10 inborn experts and enough influence. The fact that Flame Palace could be promoted to sacred sect meant it must have possessed a dominating presence. In the last decades, Flame Palace was also the only force that had been promoted. After they were promoted, the Flame Palace would need to expand their sect by recruiting underworld experts and disciples. Wudwan Mountain was about 100 kilometers away from Rivertown. It was not near, but not far either. What has sacred sect got to do with me? Wang Xian chucked the invitation aside and continued with his relaxing tea time. After Sun Lingxiu came to the Divine Dragon Medical Hall, he finally relaxed completely. He could swim in the sea, rest in the medical hall, go to school every day. The thought of it was just satisfying. Oh, Lingxiu. If you want to have lunch or dinner, you can go to first-grade restaurant next door. Wang Xian relaxed and lay down for more than 30 minutes before he stood up and spoke to Sun Lingxiu, who tidied up the medical hall. Yes, Xiao Xian. Sun Lingxiu nodded and sat beside him smilingly. I'll go back to school now. Go back and rest if there's nothing to do. Wang Xian looked at the time and headed to the school. Sun Lingxiu stood up and gazed at Wang Xian's back view with a faint smile. If this place is going to work like I want, I would be swamped. This might prevent Xiao Xian from making money too. Sun Lingxiu observed the entire Divine Dragon Medical Hall while she was deep in her thoughts. She was a kind-hearted person. When she witnessed life and death, and many helpless families in the hospital, she always thought about how wonderful it would be if she were more skillful. Hence, she was impressed by Wang Xian and admired him a lot. She always wanted to help those people who suffered from illness or had no money to see expensive doctors when she improved her medical skills. She knew she was acting a little like a holy mother, but it had always been her dream. Now, she finally had a chance. However, she would need to overthrow the rules set by Wang Xian previously if she wanted to do that. It would bring more work to the medical hall in the future too. Let's get a helper. Sun Lingxiu thought of a person as she wore a radiant smile on her face. She closed the medical hall and walked upstairs slowly. Sun Lingxiu sat with her legs crossed and her eyes closed. The smile disappeared from her face as she looked like a noble and holy goddess. My blood. She parted her red lips gently as she exuded a faint white glow from her body. The white and bright energy eventually illuminated the entire room. Pure, elegant, holy. At the same time, in a castle in faraway Europe. The night was dark. A middle-aged man, in his red tuxedo and a tall hat, raised his wine glass as he roamed around in the ballroom full of flashes. Various middle-aged men and ladies in refined and luxurious dressing were exchanging conversations with the middle-aged man in a tuxedo. Prince. When the middle-aged man in a tuxedo went on the front stage, all the audience cheered for him. Hey, thank you for coming. The middle-aged man in a tuxedo exhibited an imposing demeanor as he raised his wine glass, overlooking the people like a ruler. All of them in the ballroom bowed to him in respect and held up their tall wine glasses. The thick bloody color in the tall wine glasses was eerie-looking under the faint and gloomy lighting. Hee. The middle-aged man in a tuxedo lifted his chin, looking thrilled. At that moment, His excited face stiffened with shock, fear, and despair showing in his eyes. No. He let out a sharp shriek and disappeared on the spot. He then appeared on the top of the castle, as he looked far in one direction. No, it can't be. This is impossible. He was trembling badly as desperation filled his eyes. Ah! All of a sudden, the middle-aged man in a tuxedo rolled his body on the rooftop of the castle in pain, looking to be in agony. Master, I surrender. Master, please. I beg you. I was wrong. I was wrong. I'll come to you now, Master. I'll be at your disposal from now on. He knelt on the ground and pledged his loyalty loudly. There was no one around him, but he was unusually respectful and fearful. How dare you feed on my blood? Me. Sun Lingxiu opened her eyes with radiance flashed across them. She stood up slowly with a smile on her face. Miracle Dr. Bloodman is now a slave. Chapter 236, Disciples of the Flame Palace. Wang Xian didn't know what had happened in the Divine Dragon Medical Hall. Hurry up. Let's go get some crockpot rice. That stall has great business. We've got to hurry. At this moment, Xiao Yu was rushing Wang Xian, Lan Qingyu, and Guan Shuqing. All right. It has been a long time since we have eaten in the school canteen. Let's go. Wang Xian nodded his head with a faint smile before looking to Lan Qingyu and Guan Shuqing. Do you guys still have lessons in the afternoon? I have 2 more lessons in the afternoon. I have 2 lessons too. The 2 girls smiled and returned the question. Why? What's the matter? Nothing, nothing. I'd just like to ask if the 2 of you will be staying in the dormitory tonight. Wang Xian smiled sheepishly. After practicing behind closed doors for a month, he had a hard time holding it in. He wanted to release some of it. I'm staying in the dormitory. I'm going home. The 2 girls stared at him at the same time and answered. Oh, in that case, come to my villa after school tomorrow. Let's have a good gathering and get something nice to eat, continued Wang Xian without a pause. Huh. The 2 girls were a little interested. After hesitating for a moment, they nodded their heads. Wang Xian was thrilled and started looking at Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu from top to bottom. Both of them were around 1.7 meters tall with perfect figures. The 2 of them together. Wang Xian was in ecstasy at the thought of it. His imagination ran wild and he was wondering if he should get some new clothes for them. Schoolgirl costume? Stockings? Female teacher costume? Wow. There are so many people waiting for it. When they arrived at the canteen, Xiao Yu was clearly displeased when she saw the long queue in front of the stall that sold crockpot rice. Let's go. We have nothing going on anyway. Let's just queue for it. Wang Xian smiled and walked over as he spoke to Xiao Yu. All right. Wang Xian had visited this crockpot rice stall with Lan Qingyu once. It was indeed tasty and could be considered as one of the most patronized stalls in the University of Rivertown. Wang Xian, Xiao Yu, and the group walked towards the end of the line. Hey! Wang Xian, are you eating in the school canteen too? Hello, Wang Xian. Hello, Senior Wang Xian. When Wang Xian and the group walked over, those who were queuing immediately recognized him and greeted him. Yeah, I'm here for lunch. Hello, everyone. Wang Xian smiled faintly. After what had happened yesterday and the news of him donating $50 million to the school had spread, he was now known by even more people than the number of people who knew Lan Qingyu and Guan Shuqing. Are you here for the crockpot rice? Come, you can queue in front of me. Oh yeah, Wang Xian. Come, you can go to the front. You don't have to queue. To the students ahead, are you all fine with letting Wang Xian queue in front of you guys? Not a problem at all. Oh right, Wang Xian, what would you like to have? I'll order for you. The students in the queue smiled and said to Wang Xian. Wang Xian saw the enthusiastic looks on the students. He simply smiled, waved his hand and replied, It's all right. I'm not in a rush. I can just wait behind. This won't do. You are someone we really respect in the entire school. We aren't in a hurry either. You have done so much for the school and this is just a way the students are trying to express their gratitude. Do you guys agree with me? That's right, all the students replied loudly. How many servings of crockpot rice do you want? It will be all free if you visit here again. The boss of the stall heard what the students were saying. With a face full of smiles, he stretched his head out of the window. What a great boss, the students laughed and commented. Haha, it's just some rice. Hey, Wang Xian, how many servings would you like? I'll start preparing right away. The boss laughed heartily. In that case, thank you, boss. I'd like to have 4 servings. Wang Xian saw the enthusiastic looks of the students and replied with a faint smile. All right, it will be done right away. The boss nodded his head. Hee hee. Xiao Xian, you are really incredible now. You don't have to pay for your meal and can just use your face. Yeah. You are getting even more compliments than us currently. Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu smiled and said to Wang Xian. Perhaps it's because I'm too good looking. Wang Xian said cheekily. Let's find a place to sit. I'll bring it over to you guys in a while. All right, brother, thank you. Xiao Yu, Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu walked to a bench a short distance away and sat down. Brother, can you get another serving? My master is coming too. Less than 2 minutes had passed when Xiao Yu shouted to Wang Xian. All right. Wang Xian nodded his head and ordered an additional serving. After 5 minutes, the boss placed 5 servings of crockpot rice on a tray and passed it to Wang Xian with a smile. Thank you. Wang Xian thanked the boss before carrying the tray towards Xiao Yu and the group. TSK. You are just a martial artist level 8 elder from the Thistles and Thorns sect and yet you dare to speak to me in this manner? You must be courting death. When Wang Xian walked over, he instantly heard a clear voice sound. He was taken aback and lifted his head to look over. It was from a girl, a very beautiful girl. In terms of looks, she wasn't inferior to Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu. Around her, there were 3 to 4 other teenagers. Opposite the girl, Elder Fang and Xiao Yu were standing. At this moment, Xiao Yu's face had turned red from anger. She stared harshly at the girl as she remarked, TSK. Is your flame palace that impressive that it gives you the confidence to speak so loudly? Are you the saintess or sect leader of Flame Palace? Hey, girl, you better watch your words. Flame Palace isn't something you can insult. A small Thistles and Thorns sect is nothing in the eyes of our Flame Palace. Just a few attendants from the Flame Palace would be enough to annihilate you guys. The young man standing beside the girl looked at Xiao Yu with contempt and issued a stern warning. As for the girl, she was as proud as a peacock and looked plainly at Xiao Yu and Elder Fang. The Flame Palace again. When Wang Xian heard that name, he looked to the boy who spoke with disdain. You better watch your words in front of me too. Those who dare to speak like this to my sister in Rivertown will suffer a terrible death. Wang Xian carried the tray and walked over directly. He placed it on the table by the side before looking at that boy. Huh! The boy was first stunned, but quickly turned his head over to meet the eyes of Wang Xian. However, he soon frowned when he saw Wang Xian. The aura on his body dissipated immediately. Wang Xian looked at that boy and demanded coldly, apologize now. That boy was shocked. The proud girl was also slightly stunned as she looked confusingly at Wang Xian. That proud girl restrained her arrogance and exclaimed, Miracle Dr. Wang. Wang Xian did not pay attention to her and had his eyes fixed on that young man. I'm a disciple of the Flame Palace, the young man gritted his teeth and said with a heavy tone. He had not expected the one who he had reprimanded to be the sister of Wang Xian. They had long heard about the incident of Hua Ziming and Han Junming in the morning. After investigating further, they found out that Wang Xian was, in fact, Miracle Dr. Wang of Rivertown. He was now facing the 8th-ranked Miracle Doctor on the Miracle Doctor's chart, someone who could summon several inborn experts to annihilate a first-class force. Therefore, all he could do was to brace himself and throw out the title of Flame Palace. Chapter 237, Trouble. Wang Xian narrowed his eyes as coldness flashed in them while looking at the young guy. Apologize now. When the girl beside him noticed the change in Wang Xian's expression, she quickly instructed the young man. That guy hesitated, looking embarrassed. He then gritted his teeth and lowered his head slightly. Sorry, Miracle Dr. Wang. I didn't know she's your sister. Scram. Wang Xian spat out a word emotionlessly again. This time, He was staring at all of them. Miracle Dr. Wang. I don't want to repeat myself again. That pretty and haughty girl was about to say something again, but Wang Xian glared at her coldly. Her expression changed drastically as she stared at Wang Xian with an awful look. Subsequently, she turned her back on him and left. Such arrogance. Xiao Yu glared at them and said with anger. The haughty girl darkened her expression while the rest of the people following her were looking sulky. Wanwan, why are we afraid of him? He's just a factionless doctor. The boy who had apologized just now asked Mu Wanwan with a sullen look. He's not someone whom we can provoke. Mu Wanwan's expression sank as she took a look at him. Flame Palace is trying to recruit the factionless doctor ranked 8th on the Miracle Doctor's chart. If he becomes the dedicated Miracle Doctor in Flame Palace, his position is equivalent to an elder's position. Wanwan is right. Even if he is not joining Flame Palace, we can't afford to offend him. The Flame Palace would not offend a Miracle Doctor like him without any reason, another guy beside him said with a gloomy look. They were only average disciples of Flame Palace. Even though they had Sacred Sect as their backing, they did not dare to provoke Wang Xian. Are we swallowing this down just like this? That boy asked, as he felt humiliated. Mu Wanwan was looking ahead without uttering a word. What's going on? Wang Xian looked at Xiao Yu and asked her when that group of people had left. It was because of Thistles and Thorns sect. Elder Fang frowned as she answered Wang Xian. Thistles and Thorns sect. Wang Xian paused slightly as he asked doubtfully, do Thistles and Thorns sect and Flame Palace have any conflicts? Sort of. Elder Fang nodded. Sect leader Tang and one of the elders of Flame Palace shared some grievances. Hence, it involves the entire Thistles and Thorns sect. Let's talk while we eat. Wang Xian sat at the table as he said to Elder Fang. It's a long story, and it involves the sect leader's wife. Elder Fang took a seat and said to Wang Xian. Sect leader Tang and that elder from Flame Palace had a fight with a girl. In the end, sect leader Tang won the Heart of Beauty. Such drama like this? Asked Wang Xian, shocked. Something like that. Elder Fang nodded her head bitterly. I'm not sure about the details, but sect leader Tang's foe made a breakthrough to Inborn Realm and was promoted to the Elder of Flame Palace. Besides, the Flame Palace was just promoted to become a sacred sect not long ago. This time round, Flame Palace is recruiting experts and disciples at the Wuduan Mountain. Given the influence of sacred sects, formidable families, sects around the provinces will be there on a pilgrimage. Many people knew about the old scores between sect leader Tang and that elder from Flame Palace. The Thistles and Thorns sect might be in danger, as we're afraid they may make things difficult for us, Elder Fang said with a helpless look on her face. A second-class force against a sacred sect was as good as an ant fighting an elephant. Thistles and Thorns sect could not resist them. What's so great about sacred sect? Give me a few more months, and I will also become an inborn expert. Xiao Yu pounded her bowl with her chopsticks out of anger. The Flame Palace invited me to join them, but I turned them down today. Wang Xian stroked Xiao Yu's head as he laughed. Brother, did they? Xiao Yu was slightly stunned as she asked to confirm again. Yes, they wanted me to become their dedicated miracle doctor. Wang Xian laughed as he spoke. Extremely haughty old and young men, you did the right thing by rejecting them. Xiao Yu pouted her lips and nodded. Elder Fang shook her head. Given Miracle Dr. Wang's strength, you could be at least an elder in Flame Palace after you joined them. Master, will something happen to Thistles and Thorns sect this time? Asked Xiao Yu with concern. According to sect leaders' speculations, we will get humiliation at most. Their old scores were not as serious as fighting it out with their lives. It's just that it would be difficult for Thistles and Thorns sect to develop in the future. Elder Fang slightly knit her eyebrows as she looked at Xiao Yu. Thistles and Thorns sect will have to depend on you. Don't worry, Master. I will become a formidable expert so that no one can bully Thistles and Thorns sect. Xiao Yu said with motivation. Wang Xian chuckled as he found it interesting to see his own younger sister growing up. He was not sure if this was considered to be a heroine cultivation story for his sister. After lunch, Wang Xian accompanied Guan Shuqing and Lan Qingyu for a stroll in the canteen. Xiao Yu went back to her cultivation, feeling spurred on by Elder Fang. She was already a level 8 martial artist, the same level as Elder Fang. However, she was still far from Elder Fang in terms of combat experience. Even so, Elder Fang was astonished by Xiao Yu's growth too. After school, Wang Xian took the comfortable caravan back to the villa. Sun Lingxiu greeted him with a smiling face while making tea. She even cooked for him. Upon seeing such a pure and beautiful goddess serving him, Wang Xian was not used to it, but at the same time, he felt extremely satisfied. Sun Lingxiu continued staying in the room not far away from him, and did not mention leaving. Wang Xian woke up early the next morning. He came to the yard and noticed Xiao Yu and Elder Fang's startled looks as they gazed ahead. "Master, I was wrong. I was ignorant the other time. It was all my fault. I will be serving you by your side from now on. Please give me a chance." A middle-aged man, who wore a vibrant red tuxedo, was kneeling at the entrance with an ashen look. He was kowtowing to Sun Lingxiu without stopping. His broken Chinese sounded quirky. "What's your name?" Sun Lingxiu looked at Miracle Dr. Bloodman and asked without any emotions. "Master, I'm the maid." "No. I'm the slave, named Scarlet Vince Vladimir." Miracle Dr. Bloodman answered respectfully. His broken Mandarin and the term maid were very funny. "Okay, I shall call you Xiao Hong from now on." Sun Lingxiu put on a smile as she spoke to Miracle Dr. Bloodman. "Yes, you can call me anything you want, Master. Xiao Hong sounds nice." Miracle Dr. Bloodman quickly agreed. "Okay, get up now and follow me from now on," Sun Lingxiu said with a smile. "Yes," Xiao Hong vows, "to follow Master for anything you want me to do. My loyalty to the Master is as much as the sea." Miracle Dr. Bloodman no, Xiao Hong told Sun Lingxiu with determination. "Gosh, what a talent.